goes. There it is. All right, guys, we'll get right to it. Welcome, everybody. We're getting some feedback from somebody's microphone. I'm not sure who it was. It quit now. Anyway, we're here to talk about community building and all other stuff you want to talk about tonight. We have Red Step Stacker and Essential, Joy, and Will Justice joining us here for a little bit. And we're just going to talk about things. Hopefully, everybody's out getting into their communities and trying to make a difference. That's important to me. I think Red's onto some stuff with the FCC. I don't know. I actually have a lot of questions that I didn't write down, but they'll come to me eventually. So, how's everybody?
5 by 5.
Can you guys hear me?
Essential, how you doing tonight? Joy, how you doing?
Good.
Doing
Thank
well.
you for the
Doing well.
invite.
And thank you for the inviting us.
You're
Appreciate
welcome. If we get our communities to come together and have a common goal and build ourselves up stronger. Like, we've lost all of our grandmothers. Nobody keeps our communities together anymore. And I think
Exactly.
channels coming together will make a huge impact, because I think we all have the common goal of we want to fix our country.
Yeah, we have to keep the positivity on the roll.
We do.
Amen.
We really have to. I mean, when the story came out about, supposedly someone said Donald Trump and DeSantis was fighting. It was happening on the same day that Donald Trump was playing golf with DeSantis.
Really?
Yes, he was actually with DeSantis' son out there. He was showing him how he putts. He's a pretty good little tyke. So it was just, you gotta really pay attention. They are going to go after us. They're going to hit us hard, and they're going to hit us where it hurts. And what is their typical tool? Emotion.
You're breaking up, Essential.
Their typical tool is emotions.
Yes. If we think
So if
with
they can
emotions,
hit you with that.
trouble.
Essential
Exactly.
is an essential member of my private Telegram group, which is Locked Up Tight. And she, it's her group with my name. I've done little to no work. She has built that thing into a beautiful place to discern, and I want to thank her for that, and lifting my name up with
Can I
her
ask a
hard work.
question,
Sure.
What's that?
about the Telegram group? Any advice, Essential? I know there are a lot of, Travis is, thanks in part to the bridges we've built with you and with other channels. Travis is a rising superstar, and we've talked about doing a Telegram group for this channel, which is probably going to be my job. Do you have any advice for me, or maybe we can talk about how to make that an effective group? Because I know moderating those chats is a lot of work. And I know my Telegram actually had to delete some channels because it would just go off continually.
Hmm. Most of your things are going to come up once you're in there doing it. But I think the biggest thing is to get a hold of tech, find someone that can actually speak English, um, get in good with them, and get their cell phone number. Just saying.
Yeah, I
It
mean, I
comes
think
it comes in real handy because Telegram does not have a real listing of all. They have so many tools available, and they're just not advertised.
well, I think we're headed there. I mean, we have there's been a lot of interest, and we have a lot of information, links, and things that we'd like to get out. Using a community page on YouTube is kind of limited, and I know a lot of people are on Telegram. So I think, for the audience who's listening, hopefully I'll be able to, if I have any questions about it, I really would love to be able to ask you in the
Oh yeah,
future. Because,
absolutely. I
I
told
have it, I
Red
have a
and
Telegram
Will
group,
both
but
give
it's
you the
small.
number. Mhm.
Yeah, so if it's okay, I'll get your contact from Will. And I
Yeah.
know a lot of our viewers or regulars would really love to have a group like that. So I'll get your contact from Will, and we'll set it up. And for those of you in the chat, we're working on it. So, but I'm going to be like you, just the supporting role,
Yeah.
so Travis can spend time, being an influencer, doing influencer stuff. So,
Wear armor.
yeah.
Yes.
Well, we know that.
We all know, as he
Yeah.
described mommy in the room. A lot of teenagers don't like mommy.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, unfortunately, if you think the chat gets wild and out of control, just head on over to Telegram because those chat groups, they're brutal. And I know, and I, in keeping with our show, the topic tonight is community building, and Travis is really sincere about it. I am too. And I would like that Telegram group to be an extension of the show, just not just devolve into, um, a place to bash people. So you need good
Right.
moderators, and you need to keep it under control because that's not, if that's what it becomes, I would just shut it down. There's no point. Um, so we'll see. We'll do we'll
Sadly, we don't have that connection lately. Earlier, I would grab what the last 50 things that were posted that I thought were interesting or that were in video form, and I'd throw them up that night and I'd call it Intel Soup. And I know that I can't do that on YouTube anymore. So I have several times sat there for an hour and a half pulling all of the intel and never made it over to whatever platform I'm going to next, which I think is going to probably be Odyssey or a BitChute would be nice, but it takes 10 days to upload an hour video. And most of the Intel videos from my channel, Intel Soup, was always about an hour long. So
Ooh.
I don't know where I'm going. I need to take a survey from my audience and see where they're at.
What are your thoughts on Trump's platform coming out, True Social?
I think I early signed up for it.
Yeah, I did too. Like I sent in my email, but I haven't heard anything. I am kind of hoping that will be a good place for us to land. I've got my fingers crossed. We'll see.
That's kind of what I'm holding out for.
Yeah.
Although I would really like to get on Mike Lindell channel, but and I actually like to get my adventure channel that rediscovers America on there. That's what that's where I'd like to land. I thought this whole mess would be over by now, so I started the adventure channel probably prematurely because although everyone was nice enough to come over and sign up, I don't get any views because everybody's too busy watching Intel videos all day.
Well,
I
on
hear
the on on the one with Trump, I think that there's a lot more acquisitions are going to be added to
Does
that
somebody have
more than
YouTube
just.
open in the background?
that. Someone's got YouTube open. Will,
Hello, hello.
I know, I'm sorry. Was that me? I mean, I didn't change anything.
no. I don't. I think it was.
Any of us can have YouTube open in the background and it will echo.
But anyway, what I was saying is their acquisitions they has already. Oh my God, there's been inquiries. I'll put it that way. Corporate growth with the media department.
You're breaking up, girl.
Well, I'm not surprised. Is that any better?
So what you're saying is it's going to be bigger than we maybe initially thought.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I can tell you that there's already grumbling.
Is there an echo now, folks?
No.
Essential, if you
Okay.
do have earbuds, you use them. That might cut it out.
I'm getting an echo.
I'm going to shut off, so see if that's it.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, it's not doing it now.
Yep. I think
Okay.
it was Will. Yes.
Can you hear me now?
It's
Or am I
got-
still breaking up?
Now
It's
we got
gotta
You're
be
echoing.
It's got to be my connection. Sorry, guys.
echoing.
I'll just wait in the background till I'm needed.
okay.
Test.
Essential. Did you want to say any more about the acquisitions and the Trump platform?
No, just when I was in the work this morning, it was mentioned at the company that I work with. It just the fact that they're mentioning it all the way down to a level that I can hear means there's something big going on with it.
I think that's what we're all hoping.
Hmm. I definitely took it as a good sign.
Essential not only runs my group, but she actually has a physical newsletter that she hands out, printed on paper, that is truth related. She's very active, and her connections I can't even mention, but they're really good.
So when you do your newsletter, I guess do you also do you have like an email newsletter as well?
I don't do the email because the people I'm trying to reach are the ones that are fed up with the news.
So where do you
Or they've either turned it off completely, or they're so inundated with just the liberal garbage, they don't know the rest of the story. So I'll put up a story that's trending and then fill in the blanks. Yeah, well,
Locally.
yes, this is true. Yeah. Well,
so
no.
yeah, when you said locally, so like where do you distribute it? Because this is a good example, Red and Travis, of we talk about getting involved locally. That's something what you're doing is a very local thing. Where do you distribute it? What's like your strategy in terms of getting them out?
I have other people that work with me, and we literally go around to neighborhoods and put them in the, they have that little the box underneath the mailbox.
Yes.
There's like a paper tube, but it's not. It's for flyers. It's for everything. I give them out there. And there are people that have stopped me and said, where can I get more of these? And, I have given out my email. But I'm doing it almost the door to door. We are driving the neighborhoods. I drive 92 miles a night, every single night, 7 nights a week. So I can hit more places than, say, someone that's during my job. So I can do this more than, say, someone else who isn't in that position. But you can always put flyers and newsletters on boards, taped mailboxes, put it in a tube underneath the box, never inside the mailbox, though. We know that.
Yeah.
I've put them. I have flyered cars.
How many are you printing in your last printing?
My
and
last
how often
printing.
do you make them?
My last printing, I do it every 2 weeks, but my last printing was 1,200.
And how many you got left?
None. And we hit different neighborhoods. We don't hit the same exact. So one neighborhood might get one every 2 weeks. keep them interested and have them look, because what we attach to each story is the, the URL address where they can do their own research as well to see that we're correct.
I'd love to get my hands on a copy of one, actually. Although I don't want to give Travis any ideas, because I'm going to need a company car if he wants me to be distributing flyers on top of my executive producing work. But I'd love to see. I mean, I'd love to see a copy of one and just see how you have it set up, because people have talked about that even during the past couple of years, and all the big tech surveillance and that. I've heard people kind of jokingly say, hey, well, we should just print up a newsletter and we'll get the word out that way if we have to. And you're actually doing it effectively. So,
well, see, the funny thing is where I got the idea from was fighting propaganda in World War II. We had planes dropping flyers all over Germany, all over Poland, to let them know what was actually happening versus what they were hearing was happening. And so getting that idea, it's illegal to kind of dump them like that now. So, but it is not, at least in the state I'm in, it's not illegal to put them on windshields. And let me tell you, the first Saturday of the month is hot at Walmart.
Oh, yeah.
So, and as far as a format, I wasn't sure what to use. I do use a standard 14 font, though, across the board, and I'll enlarge for titles, of course, but I do typically 3 pages, front side only. I don't do front and back because I don't want it to bleed through. But there are templates, for Microsoft, and that's all I've done. I've grabbed a template off of there, and I just keep reusing it.
well, I know I'm seeing in the chat, and I would too. I would love to get a copy of one, just see what kind of, like, the kind of content you have in there, and see, depending if, I don't know if you'd be comfortable with us sharing it with our viewers and that, but we are talking about doing this kind of thing as a kind of an example. We'd love to see one.
Oh yeah, and if you don't have any idea, believe it or not, Office Depot, they're very good about helping people. If you see it and you still have any difficulties of trying to put something together or put it out, I wouldn't recommend universities, but community colleges, usually departments there are actually anybody they can get on off the street to help, they do. Even now, even the climate we have now.
You were telling me last night how many conservative newspapers are left.
5 conservative, what they would consider, it's the base of how many they service. And there's 5 minor yet major conservative companies left. The rest have been literally bought up by Gannett, which owns USA Today. So they have slowly taken over print industry in the U.S. to give that liberal push. Yeah, they when it started happening here where I'm at, I was a little surprised. But what they're doing, and a lot of people don't realize this, your newsprint today is still home delivered 75%. Only 25% is digital for newsprint. Yeah. And yet they have spread it throughout and continue to harp on it that it's all digital. Now what they're doing is once Gannett and USA Today take over these companies, they, under the guise of giving people days off, they've cut 5 or 6 days a week only. And in doing so have cut out the days that they have a major publication going along with their publication, Wall Street Journal. Now, the Wall Street Journal is listed as a conservative company. I know they printed a lot of other stuff, but they're still labeled as a conservative company like Fox News. And what they've done is they're squeezing even the Wall Street Journal out. If they can't buy them, they'll shut them down.
And the subscription cost went up on the paper.
Oh,
Should we not mention
yeah,
that, or
yeah,
can we mention
yeah. It went up. I think it's $1,200 a year now on a fixed income. Who can afford that?
So
I mean, you're looking
they
at,
bought a
yeah,
property, they're destroying the property, and then they're going to take the tax write-off after the newspaper closes.
yeah,
Probably. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Now I'm not in the newspaper business as far as like that is not my trained field of expertise. But with what I do, I'm pretty much open in any field. I'm not a lawyer like you.
Me?
Yeah,
Well, I mean, I
you
don't
know,
practice law. I don't practice law, so
I
you know,
do. I'm just not a lawyer.
so we're like opposite. But and even when I went to law school, I really wasn't. I was interested in other things, like entrepreneurial things, and I just wanted the legal background, which has helped me. But now all I use my degree for is reading SCOTUS cases and driving Travis nuts with links about that kind of thing. But
See, that's what I
yeah.
was saying last
I
night,
want to
that
hear
what
about
you do
that.
is exciting. Yeah.
I want to hear
Well,
about that.
I think we're gonna do more. Travis and I have talked about this, and you know, uh, w- the subject of things like executive orders are coming up in discussion much more than they ever have, um, in my memory, just among the general public, right? And
Hmm.
of course, that's in part because of the way they've been executive power has been used during COVID. So it's really timely, and I think we're going to do. Um, I don't know if we'll do it on here or maybe we'll do it on Podbean in just kind of like a very uninterrupted format. But we'll do like a Executive Order 101 and talk about in general what's the mechanism? How does an executive order operate? What makes a proper executive order um, versus something that is like an overreach and can be, I mean, because they get litigated. Now, Congress can't just cancel an executive order, but they do get litigated. And as a matter of fact, Obama had many that were fought in court successfully. So we'll talk about that. I think there are some specific executive orders that keep coming up in our chats on the programs, and the best way to talk about what they mean or what the significance is to actually read them and go through them with a fine-tooth comb, because some of the ways that we talk about them are very general, and it sometimes can lead to some inaccuracy or some misunderstanding. Of course, what are we doing with all this community building and all these conversations and what's Travis doing with the channel, trying to get the search for truth. So we have to do it
Yeah.
intelligently, and we can't just kind of throw um, kind of a cursory knowledge about these things. Sometimes doesn't help. You do have to get a little in the weeds. So for people who are interested, we're going to do that. We'll probably do it in podcast form. Our show, we have a late night show here, so not everybody wants to hear about that stuff at 10:30 at night, but we'll make it available. So.
Well, a lot of it is cutting through the word salad too.
Yes.
Congress doesn't like just to hear themselves talk. Sometimes they like to read and hear themselves in the written word. So it's very wordy, and you've got to cut through that and strike this out. You almost like your English teacher. Well, wait a minute, that doesn't go there. Shoo, put it over
Yeah.
here. Let's see what you're really saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the words are tools, and you have to learn about the tools.
Well,
And see it.
reading a Supreme Court, anybody can read them, right? It's almost like learning a different language when they use words
Because
like,
we are.
yeah. Well, like when this most recent one about the Trump, Trump the documents covered by executive privilege. It's a very short ruling, the from the majority, And they will use words like, well, they made a decision and they said, well, this was dicta. Well, if you don't know what dicta is, it if you do know what
Yep.
it is, it kind of helps you understand what's going on with the decision. So it's the legal background is just kind of helpful for, it's almost like a decoding language. Um, but it helps because, when you read about what happened at the Supreme Court in the press, their job is to kind of simplify it and get the message out. But it does gloss over some of the really important details. So, we're gonna. I think for some of our viewers, they're really interested in that. And they're interested in those details. So I think we're gonna start talking about it and make it available. And for people who want to take a pass, we're gonna do things. We're gonna community build in a different way, like our drinking show last night, which was a lot of fun.
It,
Still
it was
talking.
You girls and your secret decoder rings. Just tell me, was that out of the Cracker Jack box or was that out of the Lucky Charms box?
Well, I don't know about essential, but mine, it was one expensive Cracker Jack box, I'll tell you that.
Yes. I think I finally paid off my student loan 30 years after getting my degree.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if I did it, so can Congress, AOC. Just saying.
Yeah, right.
Nobody signed your name to that contract. You did.
Correct.
And if you can work that hard to get the degree, then get your behind out and get you a pole dancing job and pay for it on the side. I'm just saying.
Well, I don't think that would be any option for me, but
Well, I was talking about AOC.
I'm just kidding.
Well, she already
I
does that, but it's in Tijuana,
Yeah, right.
and they call them a donkey show.
Oh, cool.
I had to bring it down. I'm sorry.
Don't get me started.
let's just say I know of a bunch of stud horses around farms out here that you can go visit and make them happy.
Yeah, but you ain't gonna get $10 for any horse for anything she births.
Okay. Anyway.
Anyway, back to Intel.
Oh Lord.
I think election volunteers is also a good idea for people who don't want to run for office but want to get involved somehow and don't have kids that are going to school. I think that would be.
I think it's a great job for Karen.
For who?
Karen.
The Karen, like a Karen. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well, if you got Karen tendencies, then I would say go for that. I'm considering going for that because the last group they had in there handing out the ballots were pretty questionable.
I just don't think what happened last time is going to fly this time. There's going to be serious conflict.
Oh, it's going to fly.
Pull that stuff.
I think it's going to. You know what? It's not going to fly, but it's going. There's nothing we can do about it. Just like last time. I mean, they blatantly didn't let people look at a piece of paper. They made them look at a piece of paper from 6 feet away.
What I'm saying is that you're going to have people going to jail because they're not going to allow that. They will rip it out, and the next person will come up and take their spot.
Who's going to take their spot? The Republicans are going to be going to jail, or the
Yeah, there's going to be conservatives at the places that aren't going to take it anymore, and the first line will go up. They'll take the signs down, the posters down. The second, they'll come up to be able to go in. Because the first line's going to jail for taking down the sign. But it's going to happen so much that it's, I really do, I don't think they're going to tolerate it this time.
I don't think they're going to tolerate it. I think it's going to cause problems, but there's nothing you could do about it. Nobody's done anything about it. And my whole point for the whole time is that what color underwear Donald Trump's wearing, what's going on with the flashing lights in the White House, all of those things are distractions from the point of last January or last December when we all clearly knew when 7,000 affidavits were signed by American citizens that knew they'd go to jail for lying. And the first affidavit that I learned about was an 83-year-old Chinese woman who came to America and finally became an American citizen after 10 years. And she went and volunteered at the TCF place, and she was held captive in a room. She was on the dock, and they locked her in a room for several hours, an 83-year-old woman. And I listened to this woman and watched her tearing up. She said, this is what I ran away from. And nobody cared. 7,000. And we're gonna hit the next cycle before anything is ever heard anywhere, unless Jovan Pulitzer, God, he didn't put a timestamp on it, but he sure made it sound like it would be taken care of. And Mike Lindell was very clear about making it clear that the next time around, it's going to be the old-fashioned way. So I'm not saying I'm right. I'm going with my feelings and not my gut on that. But I'm strongly concerned because this whole
I've
mess
already
could have been
volunteered.
the whole mess could have been taken care of by 30 of Michael Jaco's friends between the beginning of November and January 21st or 20th.
I'd like to jump in for just one moment on that. It's a shame that our oath keepers in that are not standing up and saying, "Hey, this is not the way it's supposed to be. We will protect you. This will become a legal election because we will not allow the shenanigans that we've been seeing in the past at these elections. Stand there, protect these people, make sure that they can see those ballots, make sure that they know they're counted properly, and everything else."
Amen.
If our oath keepers, we don't have to take and become, how do I want to say it, vigilantes or hands on with them. But if we are there to protect our poll watchers and make sure that they're safe, not treated that way, and everything else, that will go a long ways towards rebuilding trust in the American voting system.
Agreed.
Yeah, and we see a lot of people get discouraged and they're not going to vote. That's what they want.
Mm-hmm.
We can't have that. We've got to come out stronger than we did last time. Just my opinion.
I think we gotta stop looking at the distraction. There's always the distraction. Like, for instance, when those people weren't allowed to stand any closer than 6 feet away from a piece of paper, that was null and void. But instead of just taking the easy out and saying, okay, redo, cross the board, we got a problem here, they were like, oh, wait, some a skid full of paper came in the back door. So what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much stuff came in through the back door. The fact is, right here in front of the entire world, they said you cannot look at this piece of paper. It doesn't matter if they use COVID for an excuse. It's null and void. Well, if COVID's the excuse that I can't see that piece of paper, then this is a redo.
Well, let me ask you a question. What happens if you're in there and open there now and they do that and everybody goes up to 6 feet regardless? What's going to happen?
What goes?
Their little Antifa thugs will throw a punch and then they get arrested. At least down here, I have to say, at least down here. I know that's not everywhere, and I know that I live in a very protected little life to a degree, and I kind of have to reach out to other people and ask them, is this real? Is that real? Is the other thing real?
Yeah, like you can't go to McDonald's in New York unless you got a piece of paper with you. Yeah, that's real. Yeah, I know. Yeah,
like the little girl that went to the Museum of Natural History and got arrested, 9 years old, yesterday. And then
Essentials in a red state, just so you guys know. A good
no, I'm in a red county, a red city within a red county within a red state. So I'm so isolated. It is hard for me to believe some of the things I'm hearing and seeing, and I actually have to ask people that I know that live in these other areas, send me something.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you, my daughter, this was in November, her school play, she goes to a Catholic school. And we went to her school play. It was held at a, a, a venue, like a big, a major theater or whatever. They rent it out. They do it every year. And they required a, a shot, whatever, the passport, or you had to have a PCR test to go to attend it. And I raised hell because I didn't think a Catholic school should be hosting an event in that would require in a place that would require that kind of thing. They didn't even tell the parents, and there were parents turned away at the door, couldn't see their child perform in 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 this play that they had worked, rehearsed months for. They were turned away at the door because they didn't have the shot.
Mm-mm.
So it's very real. And people who live in red states who have good governors, Travis and I were talking about this just yesterday about how our experiences of the past 2 years were so different living in two different parts of the country. Um, I was kind of telling him what it's been like here and kind of the effect it had on my family and my kids and myself. And he was like, I had such a different experience.
Yeah, I didn't put anything over my face, not once. I take that back. I did one time. I went to the water department, and the lady asked me if I had one, and I went ahead and put it on. She didn't have hers on when I got in there, but she put hers on too. So that's the only time I've ever put one on. And any other place that I went, I just told them if they said anything, I just told them that I would never darken their door again. And walked out.
You know what's funny is that I had somebody at Walmart said, "Do you need a mask?" I said, "No, I've got one, thank you," and I continued to walk without one. I would have been in jail a long time ago if I lived anywhere else. I'm telling you,
I,
I
I,
know it.
Well,
the
I was
very
going to say,
first. Oh, go ahead, Will.
sorry, I was going to say I live in a red state with a blue governor, but our state is about 98% red, and our blue governor, Lowe, has actually put in some common sense laws and stuff, and has passed them, considering the First Amendment and the Second Amendment. So I got to say, she reminds me of Thurston and Mnuchin in that respect. At least she's got some common sense, and that goes to show that if you work together, no matter whether you're Democrat or Republican, you can get things done for the betterment of the people.
And how well they have disguised what the betterment of the people is.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And that's the game we're playing.
Good catch, Joy. I didn't see it.
Are you guys?
Could I?
Go
Well,
on.
you know what? Can I? I want to. I'm going to do a peppermint patty and circle back to something we
Oh,
talked about backstage. Is that okay? Is that
Just don't grab the football in front of me.
Yeah, I think it's Peppermint Peter, but go ahead.
That's okay. Well, at the risk of being a redheaded stepchild, I want to go back to something that we talked about
Hey,
backstage. If that's okay.
Yes.
Red.
hey now, I resemble that redheaded stepchild remark. Just ask Red and Essential.
So, we were talking about kind of this. I don't want to say a split, and you probably have a better way of phrasing it, Red. This whole idea about um, what solving riddles or chasing intel and being a patriot, and kind of in that the issue we're having, I think, in our community right now. There are a lot of people who say, well, if you don't follow all the intel, and you don't buy every bit of what's presented, that you're not a patriot. And you want to speak to that a little bit? You had some comments about it backstage that I think might be interesting to the audience.
Well, I will repeat what I said, but you really did open up a new venue of what that means also. But my fear has strongly been recently noticing that there seems to be a difference in patriots and people who are looking for clues in a mystery.
Mhm.
And I believe we all have both of that in us, and it's up to us to decide which one we are more of. Like, no one has more intel, interesting, deep intel that goes back generations than Essential. Yet she's putting out a 3-page newspaper every 2 weeks by herself on her own budget. So there's an example of someone who is very much into intel, but doing way more on the Patriot side every day than the other.
Intel should motivate you. It should motivate you. And what we're trying to do is get people to stop being rubberneckers staring at the wreck. Get out and help with the triage. Clear the roads. Get the wreck out of the way. Don't just rubberneck it and look at it and go, wow, guess what I've seen today?
And
Could you
Joy,
have
what
helped to
did you
stop
say
the
to
flow?
that? Before Essential popped in the room backstage, you said something very interesting to my comment, which was,
Well, I think it's kind of what I just said. What I'm noticing is, and this is causing a lot of division and a lot of argument and hurt in the community, and that is that if you I agree with what Essential said about, sometimes that the intel and I'm the kind of person, I don't do intel. I don't come on shows because I know I'm a single mom and I work and I have an interest in these topics, but I don't have any, secret source or, any intel that I can really contribute, other than, kind of maybe repeating things I see or maybe things that make sense to me. But there's a sense in which if you don't buy all of it from certain sources, let's say, and I think we all know what we're talking about. That if you don't buy it, if you don't believe that this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this timeline is going to happen, that you're not a patriot. And that's, I think, a turn that is not a helpful turn that I'm seeing happen. Maybe I don't know if other people are seeing it too, but
you're
I
right. And
certainly sense.
you're very right. And I think that those people are just as mind controlled as the blue zombies, but they're from a different political party.
Maybe, yes.
That's why intel doesn't matter, because 75% of it, I could say with full confidence, 75 or maybe 80% of the intel you hear is either twisted by a 3-letter agency or the Black Hats, or is completely manufactured by the Black Hats. And what they're doing is eating up your minutes between today and the next election. And that's
Right,
what they're
and it's
doing. And
paralyzing
they're
people.
sucking it up. They
Yeah.
are sucking it like
If I
And
can
it's making us
step,
turn on each other. We should be helping each other. And
yes.
in some cases, it's paralyzing everybody because you're too busy fighting and too busy worrying about whose side who's on instead of doing the kind of things you're talking about, which said, like getting involved in your elections, doing what a pamphlet or whatever your piece can be. And I'm seeing it more and more. And and it makes having these kind of discussions really difficult because you're on a panel, you do a lot of intel, you guys are more into it. I'm not so much, but we can still have a great discussion and we can still find the things that we're like the common ground. Travis wants to do a lot with community outreach and charity work. We all have a seat at the table, and it's all part of a much more important discussion than who believes what intel guy.
What
Right.
I look at that as, if I may say, when you're looking at patriots versus, you have the different groups. It's kind of like Christianity. You have Lutheran, you have Methodist, you have Baptist, and we all have a little difference in them. A lot of the things that were talking about, I don't believe in them to certain aspects. But when I can take something and prove it through manuals, congressional bills being passed, when was it passed? If I can back it up with that, then I've got something. And that's what's missing. It's the marrying of this happened and this is how it happened and this is what we do about it. It's the do about it.
Amen.
And
And
it's
let me
not
go on.
Oh, I was going to say, and it's not listening to some of the outrageous things that were not even put in there by the Patriots. It was put in there by other agencies who've infiltrated, who constantly infiltrate.
And let me assure you that all government level intel that ever came out was cut off, and I'm sure none of it was direct. It was indirect, like you're hearing it from retired guys like Mick and Ermey. Unless you know the person and look at their face, like a general, a retired general or a retired anybody, unless it's actually a real relationship that you had prior to this whole mess, there's no intel. What's Phil Godleski has not gotten intel since last March, just like me. Nobody has got anything from a true, honest source that is direct, or at least one. What's that? This 1 degree out of the horse's mouth since March. Now, Godleski is very surrounded by 3-letter agencies, and he is easily fed, and he is not sane. He's not a bad guy. He's a patriot, but he's controlled. Mike Penny, on the other hand, because I got my comment saying, after they said, sit back and enjoy the popcorn the other night, and I put in the chat, do not sit down and enjoy the movie and the popcorn. Get off your ass. And then I got blocked. I'm going to say he might even be more CIA than he is surrounded by CIA. And he's using real patriots to do the homework all day long for him to present the bullshit. They're patriots. They think they're on the right course. But if I'm wrong, what harm is there? If I'm right, what harm is there? Okay, that's my personal opinion. But I could tell you, you telling 7,000 people to sit back and watch the movie 2-3 days ago is exactly what you're not supposed to do. So everyone in here needs to understand, as much as you love the fear porn, you're being lied to. 80% of what you hear is complete, absolute bullshit. And everyone telling it to you is either trying to make sure we lose our freedom or wants to be famous on YouTube. And that's the bottom line.
Can I jump in for just a second, Red?
Yes, sir.
If you look at the book called The Art of War, what is it? One of the biggest things is they talk about destroying a nation. They talk about destroying it from within by causing dissension and hate from within. That is also in the CCP playbook, Socialist playbook, Marxist playbook. That is how they win. They go in and, like, the history that the kids are taught now is not the history that any of us on this panel were taught. They're changing history. They're taking it. Go ahead.
I was going to say, my 3rd grade black teacher told me that the first slaves off of the Mayflower were Chinese and whites. Benjamin Franklin was a white Christian slave, a runaway slave. The Chinese served as slaves on this continent, not this country, because there was only 83 years of slavery while America was America. but it took us 60 years just to get coins in the pockets of Americans. So like we can't do everything overnight. We just started a country and there's only like 100 of us working on it. So give me a break. It took us 83 years to free everyone. But when the blacks were freed, the whites were freed, and the Chinese were freed, all on the same day. But that's not the history that they're teaching today. I'm sorry. That's all I had to say to that.
One thing is I never challenged them. Well, I won't say I never challenged them. Rephrase that. I am careful how I will approach someone on the subject of some of the more extreme beliefs out there. But I do try to bring them up and be positive. And that's hard. Even though I have been involved in motivational speaking, it has worn. I'll tell you, there are times you can ask Will that I'm almost in tears trying to build and lift people up so that they can get past certain little things. And it's always the littlest of tiniest of details that I didn't see coming.
Well, yeah, and what has been sad is that we always hear that phrase, use discernment, use discernment. But if you use discernment and your discernment tells you that something, a high profile intel person is saying doesn't resonate with you, even if it's just part of it, it is amazing how someone who, used to be kind of like on your team and willing to discuss with you will cut you off because you said something bad about their guy.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen a lot, and it's something that's happening more and more, and is unfortunate. And there are some days where I just kind of at a loss of how to address it any more than all you can really do is just be true to yourself and find people who are capable of having a rational conversation about it. Because as you saw, intel, what we in this kind of these communities and these YouTube channels, and we all know, we all watch we're all watching the same channels. The range of what is plausible, it's a broad spectrum. But some people don't want to concede that, I guess.
They pick their politician over their own family.
Yes, it's a cult of personality.
Can I give an insight on something? Red touched on it earlier. The flashes inside of the White House. Now,
No.
I've worked security. I've worked law enforcement. Those alarms are in a sequential operation. What they'll do is, if one alarm goes off in one room, it'll set off and the light will strobe. Then if somebody walks into another room, it'll light and strobe. And when they're testing those alarms, there's somebody in there usually walking those alarms, and there's somebody that is either at the computer system down there or has remote access to the computer system to check them. There was no way, like one of the theories that was thrown out there, that they are wiring the White House to be blown up. That was either a complete alarm malfunction or a complete alarm test. And I believe because of the SUV down there with the guy at the computer screens in the back, that was an alarm test trying to locate a potential or active problem. And you talk to anybody that's worked law enforcement or security, they will tell you the same thing.
So and they run drills after dark, after 11 p.m. Right? Yeah. So all night long, if he's not home, they're running drills. And he's never home. He's always on house arrest in the other home. I don't know if that's true, but I found the little thing on his ankle a year ago.
Like the KISS method, really, a lot of ways.
Wait, say that again. It broke up.
I said it's like the KISS method in a lot of ways. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, that's right. Didn't you say that earlier, Joy?
Yeah, well, my principle is, it's Occam's razor, right? The simplest explanation is usually the best explanation. Well, generally kind of steers me in the right direction.
In my case, I live by the KISS rule because I am the stupid.
Right.
Oh,
You know, that's
so
what I
coming
call the
together with
tournament.
community seems to be like the only way this is going to happen. Like actually faces. Like I purposely joined the association website. What?
I was just reading one of the comments, and it was B. Thomas, and he says, "But it sounds so much cooler to say it was small detonations."
Yeah, it does. It does. And then I don't know if I mentioned this on the backstage or front stage, but I found video from 4 or 5 years ago on a Japanese YouTube channel where they're showing the exact same lights going off in the last two windows that are left, but they were red and they were more continuous. And so that was happening under Donald Trump. So whatever happened under Donald Trump happened under Biden, which leads to the Occam's razor to Will's theory.
Interesting.
But I did say community, and we were here to talk about community and how to get together with community. And I will say the number one way, let me throw this out there. This is the number one way I have actually met people in my community who believe what I believe. And I realized it the day before yesterday because I've been behind the same or on the same road at the exact same time as this white 4x4 Jeep. And you know, it hits all the bells and whistles and tinted windows, and I see this thing almost every day. And I'm behind it again 2 days ago. But what's different? This time they got where we go one, we go all. Huge across the back window. And then I realized there's another one like me. And then it made me think of all those t-shirts that I made that have printing purposely on the back to be a billboard. The one with I made a t-shirt I made the very original Donald Trump Miss Me Yet t-shirt. My audience knows that. And when I did my first adventure video, I walked into a giant t-shirt shop at State Fair, and my effing t-shirt that I'm actually wearing at the time is on their wall for sale instead of 4 colors. So I have found that people always approach me, and a lot of my audiences, people come up to me and they talk to me about my t-shirt. And the whole point of the t-shirt is you are red pilling, making people think about something that is detrimental to the moment in history that we're at. And they don't have to look at your face, and they don't have to think in their head, this dirty piece of crap Republican. All they have is a picture of Donald Trump saying, "Miss me yet." Now, I lost 2 t-shirt shops because I'm very honest. I think when I listed everybody who worked at the BlackRock Corporation across the street from the White House, Jen Psaki, yada, 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 everybody who's in office now, listed all of them, and it said Treesa Palooza, something about hanging everybody, hang up Palooza. So I lost 2 t-shirt shops from there. But I will say, I do have, if you can't do nothing, if you're not going to do anything, I have those t-shirts are starting at $19, and I'm not trying to sell t-shirts. I'm trying to get you involved, because if you're not going to put stickers on the gas station and you're not going to go help out here or there, when someone comes up to you and says something about your t-shirt, you could say, "Hey, what's going on with the school board?" Or is there anything that you're active in? Ask people what they're doing or inspire people. Yeah. Even if you're not doing anything, say, "Yeah, we got to get active. We got to get on the school board. We got to go watch the election, the local election," because then you have 1 minute to make a connection and say something to somebody, and they're going to think about your t-shirt all night. If it's one of the t-shirts, like "America's Addicted to Bullshit" is one of the t-shirts. "Stay Asleep and Obey" is another t-shirt, and they're always on the back. But they have caused me so many conversations in my community, and I haven't taken advantage of it because I just realized, seeing that van with the "where we go one, we go all," not the van, the Jeep, I just realized that was a connection. Because for me, the first time, I'm not the guy wearing the t-shirt. I'm seeing the guy wearing the t-shirt. So I experienced what happened when I saw somebody who feels the same way I do. And then I felt this automatic connection. So if you want, there's plenty of other t-shirts you can buy that will wake you up other places, but wearing those specifically, putting them on your back, going shopping, knowing that everybody behind you in line, everybody behind you in the grocery store has to read the back of your shirt. and they have to think about what it says. And sometimes that'll go to when they're sleeping at night. It's planting the seed. It's planting the seed, and then make the connection when they come up to you and ask them what they can do or what you do. Hey, maybe you should run for office. Say whatever you can to inspire that person before they leave you, because you're already inspired, or you wouldn't be sitting here listening right now. So,
and I think that's one of the reasons why, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why the COVID narrative needs to crumble and go away, because the past 2 years we've been locked in our house, interacting from behind a keyboard, and we haven't been out there. Travis, one of the very first shows I saw of this show, he was talking about how he would go out and try to just talk to one person a day, just one person in person, and talk about, these kinds of issues. I think, am I remembering that right, Travis?
Yes, I talk to one stranger every day about some of the things that are going on, whether it be getting involved in elections or helping people that are struggling. I share information if they want to talk about it, and it's not hard for me to talk to strangers anymore, and I find it more. I just the more I do it, the more I feel like I should do it.
Well, Red, you brought up the stickers on the gas pumps.
Yeah.
Besides the Biden one that says I did that, I decided to make a Trump one that says Joe did this.
That's
stick
good.
it on the other side of it.
That's good, with a good smiley face on it. That would be good.
Yep.
And I got to go talk. I got to tell people more about Sticker Mule. Their current Sticker Mule is probably the best place to get those stickers made cheaply, and they could be cutout design. But right now they're promoting buttons, like old fashioned, baby pin, safety pin type buttons you would put on a jean jacket in 1980. So that's not a very good promotion to get people started. And I want to show people how to design their own sticker ideas and promote that. But to your point, Joy, I actually just yesterday put out a t-shirt that says your body, Fauci's choice. And then it has the instrument that they use to poke you with. And then below that, it says, let me know how that works out for you.
Yeah, well, because
good luck with that. That's what it says. Good luck with that.
Did the hand up?
Sorry, there's a delay. I'm sorry.
Sorry. It's probably on my end too. I apologize, but I'll just quickly say, Red, did you get that? Give a hand up, not a handout t-shirt made yet?
No, because Essential sent me a really good one that she saw written on a dirty window somewhere. And I'm trying to reword it and not change the meaning of it. So I'm kind of stuck on that. And I'll tell you what I do. I mean, it's my third t-shirt channel. I love making t-shirts that make people think, or that slam them in the face with a baseball bat when they see them, because it's the only, here I'm preaching to the choir. But we've had story times. I've told all of my stories about people approaching me. People have sent me stories of people approaching them, and that they laughed. Mostly it's, hey, they thought it was really funny. Once you have somebody laughing, you have them, they're open to you. So you're not going to get the defense. As soon as you make somebody laugh, you're past the defense and you can openly speak to them. And I think that's really the next step in the t-shirts, besides just being a wake me up slam in the face with a baseball bat for the blue zombies. It's an opportunity to talk to the people who do come up to you. And Travis, if you wore one of these t-shirts, I would guarantee at least every other day, at least one person would come up to you. But I've stood in line with 7 people in line and 3 people in line talking with me about my t-shirt. So that is the only way, because now they're coming to you and you made them laugh, or you said something that was profound. And I do think, and it doesn't have to be my t-shirt, but I think it's very important that the ink is on the back, especially if you're a large-breasted girl. Put all of that. We don't need any distractions, because men aren't.
Well, that leaves me out.
Okay, he just
That
made the
leaves me
highlight
out.
reel. Okay.
I'm a C cup. I wear a C cup. I'm a C48.
You were
I'm a
I'm not a
no
48.
you were
comment.
talking you were talking about reaching out to people that you don't know. I had a customer today, first time customer. Went there, he had a uh, water pipe leak, and everybody knows I'm a plumber by trade, and I was fixing it for him today, and I was complaining about what the cost of prices were for material on my end, and he said, really, how bad has it gone up? And I told him, anywhere from 50 to 80% of the cost of something has gone up that much. Take like simple fittings. What used to be $8 is right up around $16 to $20 now. And he laughed. He said, "Yep, thank you, Joe Biden." And that started a conversation with me and him about that.
Oh, now you told me once, wasn't it you that told me that my t-shirts cured something?
Yeah, I had I had one that somebody had sent me of yours. I don't even remember which T-shirt it was right now, but I was sitting in a cafe eating lunch, and I had 5 people gathered around me over that T-shirt, and we started a conversation about things that are going on here in the United States, and that's building grassroots connections. That's making people think. And at that time, I talked to them about the elections and trying to take and get involved with it and everything else.
But what about your butt crack?
Oh yeah, yeah,
I do extra tall sizes. Like
yeah,
if you're an 1XL or a 2XL, don't get 2XL ever again in your life. Get 2XT, extra tall. Because
yeah.
no matter how much you damn wash the damn thing, it don't show off your butt crack, does it, dude? My butt crack
No,
hasn't been seen in a long time. I'm a
let's
butt
put
crack guy. If you're looking at
let's
my back, you're looking at my butt crack.
let's let's let's
That
put
Until
it
takes too
this
recently.
much
way.
information.
No, at my age and with what I do for a living, there's enough bad stigma about the plumber's crack showing. Anything I can do to cover that up is a godsend.
Yeah, I have it goes like 3 inches below my front pocket. So every time I'm trying to put something in my front pocket, I'm like, oh shit, I forgot. I got an extra tall t-shirt on. I gotta lift it. So, anyways, what we enough of butt
Can
cracks.
I was gonna say, can I do another redirect and maybe circle back?
Oh yeah,
Um,
we're way off
uh,
course.
just briefly, no pun intended. Um, you talk about wearing the t-shirts and like and using humor, and I think there are very few perks of getting older, but one of them is, and especially in red, you can appreciate this. I mean, anybody who has kids, um, it's very like my kids are well. I don't know about politically. They're typical, uh, teenagers, young adults, but it is always great to wear a shirt, like with um, that expresses my political viewpoints in front of them, because they kind of look at you like you're like the older lady who just doesn't care, and they think it's kind of funny. And we talked about earlier about how we really need to start reaching out to that younger generation, right? And
Mm-hmm.
and getting the message out to them, because they're I think most vulnerable. They're in universities where they're getting brainwashed, and I was going to tell a story. Spent the day with my daughter today. She's doing college applications, and I took her out to dinner because she got a report card, and her GPA is 4.52. She has all A's, A pluses, great student. And she said, well, I was asking her about classes, and she said, well, we had an interesting discussion in my theology class. And I said, oh,
Uh-oh.
really? And we were talking about social media. Oh, okay. And we had a discussion about how social media is kind of designed to get people to violate the fifth commandment. And I had to think. I'm thinking, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think fifth is thou shalt not kill, right? And I kind of gave her a strange look, and she goes, well, not in like the physical harm sort of way. She said it's encouraging people to kill each other's spirit. And I thought, wow, that's pretty profound coming from a 16-year-old, right?
Genius.
And it
Yeah.
goes back to this discussion we had a week ago about the limitations of social media and sort of virtual communication for the kind of community building we really want to do. And so I think the young people are receptive to the message, but we really need to be, if we're going to be leaders, we have to be leaders in getting the message to them
Gen
in the right
Z
way.
is very patriotic. They are
Mhm.
exactly the opposite of the millennials. Exactly the opposite, from what I found.
I think you're right on that, Red, because with my children all 2 years apart, I've got one Gen Z and two millennials.
And you
And
know
my
who I
youngest
think
one
brought
is
my daughter
really
over?
into,
It's that Jewish kid. What was his name that we were talking about? I think we were talking about him last night. That guy that goes to all the Shapiro. Is
yeah,
that his name? The young guy who
yeah,
goes to all the colleges.
I got the command.
Oh,
yeah, he's talking about Shapiro.
when my kid was 13, she was like, "Do you know who this guy is? He's so funny. He's always right." And I'm like, "Thank you, God."
I have to issue a retract. I got the commandment wrong. She said it was thou shalt not kill. I said it was the fifth commandment. I got it wrong. Sorry. I knew I was going to make a mistake. I I'm making an official retraction. It's 11:30 and I got 2 hours of sleep last night. So sorry about that. But the point was the same. Sorry to interrupt, but I don't. Chat goes crazy when I make a mistake. So
So what's the
um,
fifth?
honor thy father and mother, I
Yeah,
believe.
honor your father and mother. And they're disturbing that one too.
I mean, well, that one, um, yeah, we could talk a lot about, parental rights is a hot topic right now, but um, a lot of those encroachments on parental rights are a lot of them is about undermining that commandment, right? Honor thy father.
Exactly.
If we had a little more of that, uh, you know, um, we could counteract some of that anti-family, anti-parent type of rhetoric. It
The
just
the
Well,
the conversation itself is non-constitutional. And I would like to add something here that is important. If you live in a state that has a constitutional sheriff, you might want to look at some of the politicians around you. I believe, again, Ballotpedia is where I found who contributed money to some of my local officials. And George Soros's Open Arms Society is home base registered in Canada. And it's a political group, and you can tell that because they only spend money on political ideology. And that the Open Arms Society itself spent $100 million trying to defame Trump before the election. Now they just started a new company. He dumped 18 billion back into Open Arms. So, but here's my point. Since Trump wrote, and here we are back at these presidential these signed, what are they called again that you're going to do the show on?
executive orders.
The executive
Exec.
order Trump.
No, no, his
Yeah,
Executive actions.
yeah.
And
Joy was
but
talking
that's
about.
not the. It's
Well,
his
let me get this
executive
out before I lose
privileges.
it.
It's the
So,
executive privileges.
okay, now it is illegal for a politician to take money from a foreign entity with an ideology that's exactly the opposite of the United States. Somebody in a
bad.
somebody's in a tornado.
Yeah, no doubt.
Hello, you okay?
You there?
I'm here.
I'm
That,
here.
oh, that was a really bad sound. It sounded like a crash or something.
I'm sitting
Okay.
still.
So my point is,
It
if
was the
your
train
politicians
wreck.
have money from Open Arms Society, they have committed treason. And you could call your constitutional sheriff if you have one. Unfortunately, mine took $10,000 from Open Arms Society, so that conversation would be short. But if you have a constitutional sheriff, call him and ask him and say, look, if this is considered treason, accepting money from a foreign entity, a political entity who has spent all of their money on politics, and that's considered treason, then why are they still in office? Because somebody's got to get the spark going. I mean, the sheriff in Wisconsin is trying to get Mark Zuckerberg brought to Wisconsin to go to trial for something that will put him in jail forever for election fraud. So what's your constitutional sheriff doing? And ask him questions. That's all I had on that.
Right.
I was going to say, I guess I'm going to have to grab a rhino horn and give a whoop whoop tonight to try to lighten things up.
We always say we're going to keep it light at this hour, but we just can't help ourselves, I guess. We'll have to ask Travis if he'll do a morning show too, where he can tackle all the serious topics, and then we can have, everybody can let their hair down at night.
Sunday breakfast and serious. That'd be nice breakfast.
That's right. Well, that's
okay. I got to do this, or I'm going to be in the doghouse, y'all. Miss D said to tell everybody on the panel and out there in the chat room, hello, and have a good evening.
Tell her, hey. Hope she's feeling well.
She's feeling a little better tonight. She's over there. She's got her headphones in, listening to us.
Boy, these three ladies together would be an interesting conversation, wouldn't they? D and Joy and Essential.
Yes, they would. Miss D, though, she says the only way she gets my attention is to hit me in the head with a cast iron skillet. I tend to agree with her.
Is that what I should be doing?
You bought me that set for a wedding gift.
Yeah. She said. Miss D said I had a death wish when I got married to her. I bought her a set of matching ceramic rolling pins and a complete set of cast iron skillets. And she says, "What's your problem? You got a death wish or something?"
You know what? Essential doesn't even know probably how well these other two women know you. Like maybe almost as well as she does. Like, these women know Will very well. So that's the one common bond that I think all three of these girls have in common. How well they know Will.
Oh, Lord help us.
Will's Angels.
Somebody in chat was, how come people don't want to know their face? But they didn't on Charlie's Angels, or Charlie didn't. Didn't he just talk through a speaker?
Yep.
And sometimes the back of his head. I have season 1 on
That's right.
On DVD.
Of course, in my case, they may be looking at my halo, but they didn't see the two horns holding it up once in a while.
Well, I would really like to make this a regular thing. I don't know if it's once a month, once a week, whatever. I know Travis, being an influencer, he's getting so busy, I can barely reach him on the phone anymore. And I know, Red, you've got your channel and stuff, but it would be nice. We really have been talking a lot on this channel, and some of the people in the chat about just what we've been talking about, the practical things you can do. When we say get involved in your local community, don't just sit around and wait for something to happen. Get involved. We really need to put meat on the bones with that, right? We need to have specific things, and we've been kind of moving in that direction in some of the conversations on the panel with Travis, but and that's this conversation has been kind of continuation of that. But I would love to do this on a regular basis and kind of, I don't know,
I'm in.
I used to be a school teacher, so it's assign each other homework, but maybe give people some take home ideas, and then regroup in a month and see how it went, and then see what else we come up with. I think that'd be great. Um,
Well,
Agreed.
and I'll add to some of that if you don't mind. We all have a different place in this wheel, and mine. I want to reach out to the communities. Red wants to go after the FCC or the fake news people. Dog wants to go after. There's so many things, but if we'll combine the things that we agree on, and I think everybody in this room and in this chat would agree that we want to save our country.
Absolutely.
Just because
Amen.
just because you can't do one part doesn't mean that there's not a place for everybody um, to take part in what we're doing. I
To
know
lift
people.
it up.
I know people that can pick up the phone. Silver Girl said she would pick up the phone and call anybody for us anytime that she needed it. She will get information for us. Those are the things that matter.
Agreed. Yeah. Whether or not Hillary was hung at Gitmo does not matter. It doesn't change the end of the story. It doesn't change the outcome of the story. It has nothing to do with the problem in front of us. It is a distraction. And I know it's not fun to fight, but it's very satisfying to go to bed at night knowing that you made a complaint because your news delivered a story distorted. For instance, the Trump speech.
Right.
Oh, God.
What did the news say the following day after you watched the whole thing? Did they distort the news? Then you have a legitimate complaint. The fine is not what we're after, although they might get fined thousands of dollars for a complaint. We want to open complaints, get them on the table. During that time, your local news will walk on eggshells, especially around that subject. And I have those videos on Rebel Republic. It only takes 5 minutes to make a complaint. It takes longer to watch the 5-minute video than it does to actually make your own complaint. Besides, you have to make your own password. But in the 8 questions, you're actually 3 or 4 of them are you creating an account. They just want to know how did it go wrong, and they want you to give a short description. And if you have proof, you can attach a file. And then they ask you your name and all this information. And then the next time you log back in, you could see we sent the complaint to your local channel 36 news station and we have not heard back, or this is their response. And this, after they respond to your complaint, this is our decision. Did they get fined? Did they get a slap on the hand? Did we find it a null subject? It doesn't matter, but tying those people up is very freaking important. The most important thing we could do in this fight is to paralyze the mainstream media locally. So you don't have to worry about, wait for me to say, hey guys, here's another chance for something to go wrong, because I don't know what your local news is saying. I know that a big story came out and they either even not saying anything about a story is distorted news, the most heinous crime they can commit against Americans. So that's
That
really
wa-
the easiest place to start. And
that
if you
was
want
the
to
point
design
I
your
was
own
going to make.
t-shirt, go to
Can I
Teespring. Go
can I
on.
say something? Okay,
I was go
go
ahead,
ahead, Will.
Essential.
No, go
I
ahead.
was just
Sorry.
I was just going to say that was the one thing I was going to bring out. If they're not reporting the stories as they are unfolding and stuff, that is as big a crime as to not take and tell the story correctly, because
Just yeah, not skipping an important story is distorted news. Like, yeah,
exactly.
Okay. What I was going to say is that when people think that their phone calls don't matter, think again. Okay. I am constantly calling congressmen that are not representatives of my state. I think I called Marjorie Taylor Greene about 3 to 5,000 different times. I've left messages and, no, she's not over my state, but she's involved in something that I was interested in, which was the prisoners being held in Washington, D.C. So I reached out to her. I got a call back at 6 o'clock in the morning after I left a message at 5:30. I was shocked. it was Marjorie Taylor Greene calling me back, telling me that my idea was a wonderful idea, and she would get on it with Gomer and find out, which was anyone who has ever been in prison or knows of someone who has been in prison, they have access to money to it's an account to be able to purchase things at the commissary. And I wanted to know if there were accounts set up for these prisoners. If they're not able to get a hold of their family, if they're under 23-hour lockdown, are they able to do this? Are they able, because prisoners will tell you they will go over and get the ramen noodles from the commissary and eat those in their room or in their cell. So we talked it was very brief, but we talked for a few minutes about that, and she didn't know, so she's looking into it. It's about to call her again. But it shocked the daylights out of me that she called me back. When you call these places and the congressmen and leaders, you feel like you're doing nothing, and you're not doing nothing. Because let me tell you, from the industry that I am in, that I have worked 40 years in, if I didn't know about it, I couldn't do anything about it. They are not regular people. We all know that. You have got to let them hear your voice repeatedly, consistently, never ending, for them to get the message, to do what needs to be done. Some of them will, some of them won't. There's a lot of negative about it. But if you don't try, you never know. Had I never called her with that idea, she would never have called me back.
May
What
I
are you
add to
wasting?
that one phone call is equal to the voice of 10,000 people in all of media. I've taken media classes all the way through sophomore year through till I decided to drop out of college. So one phone call to whether it's to a politician or to the news, one phone call, you are the voice of 10,000 people. That's how they figure it out statistically. That only 1 in 10,000 is going to call, complain, or say great job.
Yeah, in the governor's office, they have stacks, files. And what they do is complaint over and during the complaints, they have several that's this issue, that issue, the other, and they're just stacking up. If you take one glance at the stacks, you've got a huge pile over one issue. That's the attention getter. That's what the governor's going to look at. He's not reading them. He doesn't have to. They're all circulating around this issue. That means it's important, especially when they want to be reelected.
Yep.
Amen.
Yep.
Amen.
Well, our politicians are too concerned about getting reelected instead of helping people, and then they talk out of one side of their mouth, and they do nothing. Um, what was it? Charlie Wilson said it best. He said Congress says everything and does nothing. It's traditional.
And that's true, but so long we have sat back and not held them accountable for it, and we're not doing that anymore, are we? We're pushing the envelope. We are telling them what we want them to do. Now we have to inspect what we expect. If you expect them to toe the line, do the job, and do it to the satisfaction of the people, you've got to check behind, make sure they're doing it, and you've got to be loud and proud about your voice when you say, no, we're not taking your lies. Hit the road, Jack.
Right.
And get somebody else in there. That person doesn't work, get them out. Get somebody else in there. That's why we have the ability to recall people, except California. Yeah, it doesn't work there.
That's exactly right. But the problem is most people they won't voice their opinions to people that are in those positions because they're scared of them. I'm not. Trust me. The people here in West Virginia, they know me by name. They know where I live. They know where I eat. They know what I drink. Because I drove them nuts for 2 years. I never even got as much as an email back. So I'm amazed that you did. And Manchin here, I think I could beat him. But he's been here a long time. But I think he's on that fence. I think he's still a fairly decent guy, but he's going to make a mistake, and it's going to cost him his ass. Because I'll help whoever can beat him go. I will get out in the streets and knock on every single door for months.
That's another great idea, is to get behind a candidate see who they're taking money from, and see if and get behind them and do some footwork for the right people. Because we can change minds. It doesn't matter how we change minds or wake people up, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter if it just matters that you do something, that you have a part of you that is patriotic and working every day just as much as you're listening to Intel or more.
Right.
Could I jump in here for just a second? I had a friend of mine that's a retired law enforcement officer just direct message me, and he was saying that we should be talking about how to live in a war world, because right now people are so scared it's going to be bad, because they don't understand that we are already in a war. We are in a digital war, and a war on our rights, and a war of our sanity, brought to
Our
you
sexuality, everything.
by everything. So, folks, we are already in a war, but it's how we fight that war that makes the difference. I mean, yes, we don't want to see the bombs fly and the bullets zing past and stuff like that. But by God, we can fight with what we have, which is an old saying is the pen is mightier than the sword.
Right.
And if we use that proverbial pen to let our officials know that we have had it, we're not going to take it anymore, that we will vote you out. We are going to do our best to make sure the elections are fair and honest and stuff like that. We will take and put a fear of God in these people, because they don't want to have to fight that type of negativity to get reelected to their seats. It's just like we were talking about term limits last night. You know, get a senator in there, okay? He does his 2 terms in there. If we like him, send him on over to the House of Representatives. He does good in there for 2 years, then he can take and go to possibly becoming our president, if he is that well liked and that much of a true patriot, and is looking out for we the people, not for his bottom line of how much money he can make in the office. And I think if we would do that more, I think that we would have a stronger country and a stronger world.
Joy,
Yes.
what were you going to say?
When you were talking about local candidates, you don't need to make donations or or anything like that. Local candidates need help. They need people to knock on doors with them. Knocking on doors wins elections, especially at the super local level. They need people to stuff envelopes, whatever it is. And if you see a candidate who you feel is on the right track and he can really make inroads in your state, in my state, it's badly needed. We need change. In the off election, this is a blue state. At the local level, like the municipal and the mayoral level, it was a red wave. Okay. So that's kind of tells you that people are ready for change. If you call a candidate who seems good to you, seems to be saying the right things, they will never say no. If you call and say, I'd like to help you go door to door, or help pass out, flyers for you, or help you at an event, they will welcome you with open arms. And so that's a very simple way that you can get involved. Not everybody wants to run for office. And if you have an hour to spare, they'll take an hour. These are really, and it all adds up. So I just want to encourage people to do that. And it's a great way that when you do get people elected, and like my state rep, I live in such a blue state, but my state rep and my state senator are both Republican, and they voted the right way all during COVID and all that. They know me. When they see me in the grocery store, they know me. And volunteering is a great way. And when I have a problem or I have a question about something that's coming up in the legislature, they take my calls and they get me the information I need and they respond. So
You're absolutely correct. Absolutely. Like right now, I'm going to be looking for 50 people to help with a campaign for one of the judges locally. And because I helped on his campaign years ago, he still remembers me. I have got such advice from him.
And let me remind you guys again that George Soros dumped his $18 billion into the open arms and made a statement that a huge portion
I
of
got to
his
step
money
around the
is
building, D.
a huge portion of his money is going to go towards silencing channels like this. What he decides is disinformation. What I define as freedom of speech, and the other side of the argument that he ignores to argue. No. It's really, really important, guys, that you guys get stealth, because you might wake up one day and we're not going to be here. So you guys need to carry this shit on, pardon my language, on your own, because the day's going to come when we get knocks at our door and we're in trouble for speaking God's truth.
See, I have a question on how to get rid of those AGs that he put in, that he financed. How do we do that?
Get the what? What are
The AGs, the
You
Soros AGs out of office.
Oh,
How can we go about?
Well, that was what I was saying with the sheriffs. If you have a constitutional sheriff, that you could call them and say, "Look, this is treason. They've accepted money from the Open Arms Society. They're located at like 385 Jackson in Quebec, or I can't remember. I had the address and I found it by accident because I was investigating America's Top News. I don't know if you may or may not remember that story I did on Soros, and where it found out that all of his projects are all located in the same building in Canada, along with Open Arms. So if you go to the Open Arms website, you can only search for the hub offices, not the head office. The head office is hidden. Both of those videos got that channel taken down. And now I need to backtrack and find that address again. And I'll post it somewhere on Rebel Republic or Eggface or Allison Intel Land. And you'll be able to say, here's the address of the Open Arms Society. They're in Canada. They're a political organization. They donated $10,000 to this candidate. That is treason, according to executive order blankety blankety blank. And I guess we'd have to let Joy filter that part of what I just said, that it is illegal for a candidate or a political person to take money from a foreign entity in an opposing political position than what the Constitution has given us. So I think opening doors like that, because I'm sure that all of these constitutional sheriffs want to be as cool as the one in Michigan, who's getting Facebook boy ass up, in big trouble, and that guy's doing everything he can to bring him to court and try him in criminal court for treason.
Yeah.
So if Mark Zuckerberg is going to get tried for treason, why is a foreign incorporated company, which it says on the website, INC, just like the BLM is a corporation? For some reason, Open Arms has a listed corporation. Maybe they have a side thing too, but whether it's an organization or a corporation, they're in Canada. Zuckerberg's home office is in Silicon Valley, right? Did he move it? YouTube's home office is in Sweden. The California office is not the head office.
Well,
there's a lot of.
Go ahead, Joy.
No, go ahead.
Going back to some of the things you were addressing earlier, I had a channel taken down that's never had a strike. I appealed the only strike they gave me, and they sided with me that I didn't break community standards, but I can't go back in there and get back on it. So, and this channel's grown faster and is doing better than that channel is. It's just a matter of time. They're coming.
Yeah, George Soros promised it. He doesn't lie. You could say a lot of things about George Soros, but he does not lie.
And I never even said anything. You know why they took me down in a live video? Because my grandson, who we had permission from both his parents, came on and wanted to talk about archery. He finished 15th in the nation last year, and it was his first year. He's 12, so I'm excited.
Nice.
And we're pushing to get him to nationals this year. He shot a 279 out of 300 Saturday.
That's sweet. How old did you say? 15?
Now he's 13. He'll be 13
Oh.
this coming be next December.
Wow.
Yeah, he's quite an amazing young man. But they took me down in the middle of that stream because a child was on my screen. Well, in the chat, he said I said you have to go ask your mom. He said okay. He went and asked his mom and his dad. He said dad said it's okay. Comes in and sits down and starts talking with us. And I don't know, I think it went 13 minutes and they pulled it down, and they still won't let me get back on that channel, and they won't even answer why.
Isn't there definition of a child 12 and under?
Yes.
Just like Apple? Okay, and the kid's 13, so it wasn't even a violation. It was their imagination. See, the law is whatever I'm feeling right now. That's what we're suffering from with the Blue Zombies. The truth is my feelings. How I feel defines what the truth is. Every argument they have. And I would like to point out a connection. There's a woman named Connie IRL. She goes live in New York. She goes live in Washington. She's always in very interesting places at very interesting times. She looks like Daryl Hannah.
Oh,
I thought it was Daryl Hannah when I saw her picture. So she walks around and she does these interesting little things. And what was my freaking point? It was a really good point. Oh, jeez. Go on. I'll come back to it. How did I lose that point?
You're going to circle back, Red. Come on, man.
I can't believe it. Who's next? Go ahead. I'll circle back to it.
That's my line.
Okay, I was just going to circle back to one thing, if y'all don't mind.
No.
And that was pretty much one of the major things I'm seeing in the movement is fear. And people have got to remember, faith is the enemy of fear, and vice versa. If you're so scared, you're not walking in faith.
Right.
That's all there is to it. If you believe it, believing is what gets you motivated to get to a point. And I'm not sure if I'm really explaining that the way I mean it, but if fear comes in, that's going to motivate you in a negative direction. If you're using faith to go towards the positive, then you know that's what you need to be concentrating on. So when those fear knee-jerk reactions happen because they've misinterpreted things on the news or just out there in the world in general, take a minute, calm down, and ask yourself, are you walking in faith when you're scared? You can know about something and you can be aware of something and motivated to stop it, but you can't do it while you're in the fear of it.
Yeah.
That only works in death throes. That only works when you're down to the last hour and somebody's choking the life out of you and you're breaking your nails off in their face.
Yeah, Kyle Rittenhouse laying on his back.
Right.
In the street.
Right.
I remember what I was going to say. Thank you for reminding me. If I could throw this in quick. This lady, Connie IRL, she does these live streams all over the place. She might get 9 people. Why she does not have 45,000 subscribers is beyond me. But she's walking down the street in New York the other day during the rent. Everybody's marching about the rent prices. I didn't really understand the whole march. But while she's marching, some Antifa, BITCH, comes up to her and knows her well enough to start saying, oh, your daughter Lily doesn't even like you. Your daughter Lily this and your daughter Lily that, your daughter Lily that. And this Antifa chick is attacking this patriot with, like Joy said, no meats on the bones. Her argument against this patriot has nothing to do with the reason people are marching in the street. And we're seeing that here on YouTube and every other channel. And it's very, very important that we remove those people from our community.
Well, it's the liberal smear job tactic, and it's
Yes.
especially insidious when our people who are, say they're on our side, say they're part of our community, use the liberal smear job tactic on each other.
The playbook, the
That's what you
Antifa
see there.
playbook.
They use that. It's a tactic. It has very specific elements. We could do a whole. We should actually, Red. I would love if you would
Awesome.
come back next time and let's do a
Yes.
show on the liberal smear tactic.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That'd be a
I'm going to
great
bring
show.
some ammo.
Yeah, because and I think a lot of people it would be eye opening because there are many examples of patriots or good people and people who we share the same goals for this country. We share the same ideas, using that tactic on each other. We could go in depth. We could do a deep dive discussion on that.
I would love that. That would be one juicy episode.
Yes, it would. That discussion will to be continued, and I think it's necessary, and it goes along, kind of dovetails with what we were talking about earlier about these ways that we sow division in our own community, dividing people into deciding and dictating to each other what it means to be a patriot instead of just looking at what we share and the good things that we can achieve and ignoring some of the differences and letting some things go and saying no, we're not going to agree on every detail and every fine point, but let's focus on what we do agree on. I'll ask Travis if we can schedule a show like that because I think it's necessary.
Yeah, we actually, Joy and I have actually talked about these things along the way. So, yeah, anytime you can schedule, we can all schedule together. You're echoing again, Will. No, we lost Red. There we go.
No, I,
We
I'm
lost him.
right now.
We know where to find him.
I'll keep going. I'm voting for that.
Red, you are breaking up bad.
We didn't hear none of that, Red.
Oh, we heard it. We just didn't get it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Try that again, Red.
Am I going to echo?
Oh no, it's not an echo. It's breaking.
Now it's
Breaking
At
clear.
least I'm assuming you said echo because I heard co.
Okay.
That we got. Okay.
Okay, it's
I think
still breaking up. That's
Will's
one.
having problems.
Okay, I'll leave. Come all the way back.
Well, I'm gonna have to clear out. So I'm sorry.
Yes.
I gotta get ready for work.
That's okay. Thank you for coming. We
Thank
want to
you
get
so much.
together. We want to have these kind of conversations about real life stuff that we can take care of, and it's important to our communities because all the infighting is nothing but tearing us apart, and
Yeah.
we've got to stop that.
We have to. It can't. Well, even the Bible says you can't serve two masters. You can't have division. Period.
Right.
It just doesn't work.
Right.
I mean, I don't have to agree with everything that you say, and you agree with everything I say, as long as the principal road we are on heads in the same direction.
Amen.
Right.
Amen.
But there's a lot of these communities that don't believe that. If you don't believe it by the letter of the law, then you're a baby eating lizard people under the White House, and I don't understand that. Even our own side does that to us.
Well, there again, I think that's where I came up with the term of basically rubberneckers. Looking at the wreck. Okay, I'm not going to judge you. I'm moving on to the next person that does want to jump in, and maybe they just need the encouragement. I know Red. I've got to say a big thank you to him because he does not realize how much he encouraged me and motivated me to get out and do the things that I do. Now, a lot of what I do, I'm drawing on past experiences with work, and I've had a lot of the background
Getting
uh, jobs that
Will, you're echoing.
anyway, a lot of the jobs that use the phone tree, that use printed things and flyers, and you know involvement in school. I've always been involved in the school system because of my kids. I just, a lot of people don't realize if you go in to volunteer, they have you sign a visitor log or a volunteer log. The reason they do that is because the government then turns around and pays them a minimum wage per hour per person here. Now, if that's going to the line, not only can they actually be deficit from other areas, volunteer participation in the schools get reimbursed or equal money from certain grant and programs from the government. They don't want to lose that, because that's where a lot of their little parties come from. I can tell you that. Those that have them, and it's usually prevalent in the high school.
If we don't make the change now, if everything goes wrong as planned, for lack of a better way to put it, and the wrong people go in, we have a number of days to make sure that they get COVID and don't get better. Because if we don't, it's gone for good. It's gone for good. America will cease to exist after the next election cycle if those people put their hand on the Bible and take the oath. We know they're going to cheat. We know who's going to win. But if they make it to the day that they raise their hand and put their hand, then we lose. And it's up to the Michael Jacos of the world. It's not up to me and Essential. We don't have the training. They didn't put the billions or millions of dollars into training a team. We're not on that team. Those people have to decide to do their part, and unfortunately theirs is the shittiest part. But we could never pull that off. That would be a clown show. That would be an absolute clown show if 60 people just like me went out and made sure everybody didn't take the oath that day that didn't deserve it. It would be a clown show. All I can do is this. All I can do is beg people to stop worrying about what color underpants Trump is wearing and do something. Make one complaint. Watch the news once a day, every day this week. They will lie, and you can call them out on it, because the FCC loves to make money, but they cannot do it without a victim. Otherwise, it's the government interfering with free speech. But if they have a private citizen who is the victim of a lie, distorted news, they can take all the money they want. And you do it again next week. And you do it again next week. I promise you, I've been doing this for so many years. Before the internet existed.
We're still echoing.
Well, I'd like to add something, if I can, on that. We need to get into our locals and call out the BS. Go to your city meetings, go to your county meetings, go to your school board meetings. If you have the access to it, go to your state meetings.
And
That
say,
way that
you took money from George Soros, $10,000. That's treason. That's what you go say.
And on the elections, I don't know about every state, but we have a board of elections here in my state. And if you're smelling election fraud, contact them, get a hold of them, make your voices heard. And the more of us that do that, the more they're going to investigate, the more that they'll be likely to audit and everything else.
Fear is very, very useful. I spent a lot of time buying real estate in politicians' heads. Like, I called Nancy and said, I just saw Spider-Man, and they had a 10-minute documentary identifying everybody who broke a window on January 6th. and none of them are the people you're saying. Now, why am I
That's what I'm
seeing a
talking about.
documentary?
That's what I mean. You inspired me because I sat there and left a message with Kamala Harris telling her, girl, don't you know better? You gonna let Hillary Clinton get up in your business? Please. The only thing between the presidency and Hillary Clinton is you. Stop.
Push her, push her, push her. And she was sipping on her whiskey when she was listening to your message. But somebody has to listen to those messages. I mean, no matter what happens, whether I'm having fun, I'm usually trying to buy real estate in their head. That's usually what I'm trying to do. And somebody has to listen to it, and they have to take it seriously, because you can't let a movie go around a bunch of independent theaters in the South showing their special day didn't never happen. So I do that. I've been doing that on my own and not even playing it to my audience for years. The trick is you don't threaten them. You just make sure they're scared to death. My trick is I'm going to say things like Stephen Colbert's, like, come on after me. If I'm wrong, sue me. I mean, me and Robert Sanchez, for every day for a month and a half, maybe 2.5 months, till one of us got pegged off by Facebook, would go put a link to the Stephen Colbert video on Stephen Colbert's Facebook site, on Stephen Colbert's YouTube site. I would do it every time Adam Schiff would say something stupid or lie. I would link one of the Adam Schiff videos to his page or on Facebook. I do that. I go after them, and then I go in the comments and I read people's comments. And if they're really blue, I put the link in there. Oh, you really love Stephen Colbert? Wait till you see this. This is the funniest thing Stephen Colbert ever did. And then they're looking at Stephen Colbert sing a song about cutting up kids to a little boy who's scared to death, whom I saw after the fact. I saw the end result of what happened to that little boy. And trust me, it will give you nightmares for the rest of your life.
Gee, Red, it used to be, have you got Prince Albert in a can?
Yeah, we ain't there no more. It's like, you got an 8-year-old kid in a can there, Stephen Colbert? Where'd you hide him? Where'd you hide him, Steve? Want some pizza and hot dogs?
Gives new meaning to canned meat, don't it?
Yeah,
Ooh,
and I'm sure
Lord.
Stephen Colbert ate it this week. I'm sure of it. But if you guys are sick of people touching our children, then make sure this cycle, it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, make sure they know you know.
Do whatever you got to do. Start a conversation. Buy a billboard. If you're a wealthy person, do a good, funny billboard. I will help you design a billboard. Anybody put billboard in their in an email to me at rsp@926@gmail.com. rsp926@gmail.com. Put the word billboard. I'll help you design a billboard. You want to design a t-shirt? I'll tell you how to design a t-shirt. I'm really busy. I'll do whatever I can. Maybe you got a better idea than me, but everything counts. But billboards are just like memes. They're extremely a billboard or a t-shirt is so much more powerful because it's in the real world. It's not on this little electronic device that 40-year-old people are not completely attached to like younger people. 40-year-old people can experience life outside of the phone a lot easier than 20-year-old people can. They shut down a lot. That age group is just shut down to interaction, but older people aren't. And those are the people we need to switch. The people we know are going to show up at the polls. So if it's through a billboard, through a t-shirt, through a bumper sticker, you got to get all that space. You got to, every square inch of space that you have on your body, use it to get a message across. Whether it's the back bumper of your car, it's really important to do this in the real world, not in the internet world. I mean, the internet world's great for FCC.gov, but we got to change a lot of minds.
We're echoing again, Will. I got you.
That's all I got on that. It's our kids are us. They're the only commodity here. They're the only thing at risk here. All right, we are dust in the wind, people. We are dust in the wind. Our lives don't matter. The only thing that matters is our children's lives and our grandchildren's lives, and they need to be as useful and fun and free as ours were. Free to be who you want to be. I don't care if you have a third sex. Nobody cares. Stop using it for political uses. The only reason we know who's transgendered and who's not is because they're political. We don't get, you want to talk politics? Fuck you, you lose. You want to talk cut your penis off? Go ahead, have fun. Nobody cares. This is America. Cut all your penises off. Have fun. But don't tell me how to vote, and don't walk in the same bathroom as my daughter if you don't think you're going to get your ass kicked. Our children are what it's at risk. When you guys decide to give up on the fucking intel and start doing something Monday morning, call somebody, buy a billboard, create a sticker, buy a t-shirt, whatever it takes, do something Monday. Don't do something Monday. Tomorrow's your day to think about it. If you go to my site, I've got Allison Intel Land, I've got Eggface, and I've got Rebel Republic. If you go to Allison Intel Land, because I'm not locked out of there right now currently, I am locked out of the other one, you'll see a video. It's called Joe's Basement Sale. Click on that. Look at the t-shirts. Get your own idea. Go to Teespring. Start a t-shirt company. Just buy one. It's gonna with no profit. You're looking at like $17 with no profit. I'm selling them for 19. You got a better idea? Put it on there. If it's a great idea, show it to Trainwreck. Let him see it, and maybe it's something we can all buy, and it's going to be worth it. Doesn't matter. We have to do something now. You have free space on the back of your body. You have free space on the back of your car. You have to use it now. Monday morning, the challenge is up.
Hey, Red, we're actually contemplating an idea between Liberty Warrior, myself, and the Rhino Nation. We're actually going to pay to get a truck wrapped with all of our logos.
See, that would be a great idea. But why don't we put a message on there? You know, I mean, it took you guys asked me. The only reason I made a t-shirt about my channel is because I needed a t-shirt to wear in my videos. And I didn't even promote it or anything. I just put it up there so I could buy it myself. And you could do that on Teespring too. But let's buy it. But that's why I don't even think it has words. It just has my little character face. But everything else is a message. Let's buy a truck and put a freaking message on it. Something nobody can deny. Let's not promote us. Let's promote the fight. Let's promote the fight. Any of my t-shirts would be great for the side of a trailer. Stay asleep and obey. America is addicted to bullshit, with the I used as an explanation point. And then how about all those 40 or 50 t-shirts I got taken down off of Teespring? I mean, any of those would be nice. Miss me yet on the back of a truck? Giant Trump, and underneath says "Miss me yet?" A big smiling Trump. That would be wonderful. That if we could afford to wrap a truck, that would be wonderful. But I don't want to promote my because I'm dust in the wind, and
Amen.
we gotta. It's just an extra step for them to get to the message. If we put our logos on the side of the truck, then they have to go find us. Then they get the message. But if we put the message on the side of the truck, then the message is out. That's everybody's got to get the message out right now.
Yes, agreed.
Monday. Call somebody, get a t-shirt, design a sticker, see if you could help someone running for office in your area. There's a dude in Illinois, Bobby something. He's famous in Arizona. I used to live there like 12 years ago in my old area. If I lived there today, I would be helping that guy. Every day I'd be helping him. That guy is an ass kicker, man. He is coming out with guns blazing, and he talks about the truth that you and I know, the truth that we need these other people to find. If we had a millionaire in this room that wanted to wrap 12 freaking box trucks or semi-tractor trailers, one in each major city across America, Jesus, would we get a message out? And I could hook people. I'm good at the hook. I can make the hook that gets people to wake up. But that would be a fantastic idea and a great use of money, because poor Mike Lindell's dumping all of his money into the station with the best intel on the planet, and none of us are watching. We are so addicted to wanting something juicier. That son of a bitch is talking about UFOs.
Here's one for you. think, focus, react. That way, there we can all get involved.
Proact.
Yes.
Let the blue people react. We will proact. Proact Monday. Wherever your heart leads you. It doesn't matter what it is. Be a billboard. I have purchased every single one of my t-shirts, and there has not been one day that I've gone to work in the last 14 months since I went back to work after getting my eye back. No, wait, it's only been 12 months since I got my enough sight to go back to work. And every single day I've worn a t-shirt. And a couple people, when they see a new t-shirt, the same people, oh, that's a good one. Where can I get that one? Oh, that's a funny one. Oh, I like that one. And I get that. But I've had the conversations and I know they're on my team. But when I wear that t-shirt, those people come to me like magnets. There's a new dude that just got hired 2 or 3 weeks ago. And as soon as he saw one of my t-shirts, he's like, do you know who Michael Jaco is? I'm like, yeah, I know who Michael Jaco is. We need to talk, you know? So that's how they find you. They find you as soon as you put something on your car, on your back, on a billboard, anywhere, man. But we got to connect. You're not going to be able to do it alone. Find those other people and somehow inspire them before they walk away from you.
Right. That's exactly right. At least get them, you know, it's just like Don comes on here and Don don't believe the same way I do, but we can have a talk about it. We don't argue about it. And if he's wrong, he'll come on and say he was wrong. When if I'm wrong, I'll come on and say I'm wrong. But we still have the same common goal and all these things. I was actually contemplating going to these truck shows. If we put logos on the truck, if he wants to go to a truck show, I'll show up and create dialogue with people in the trucking community that agree with we want to save our country.
The best place to buy is the back door, and it's the cheapest place, I would guess. There might be a premium for the back doors, but it's such a small space, you know, that
Right.
I think if you can get like a fleet of trucks and get just the back door, the sides would be awesome, but people in the next 2 lane over aren't seeing the side, but they're seeing the back. And maybe I'm partial to the back because I'm not a pretty guy. I'm pretty intimidating unless I smile. And it's better for me to have a message on my giant back than it is for me to have a message on my giant belly. Now, I have been clear that some of the t-shirts that I put out might be a little bit dangerous and get you attacked. And in that case, I always made a mention, this might be a dangerous, and then I put the ink on the front so you could see somebody coming at you that might attack you for wearing that particular t-shirt. But besides that, if it's funny, you break the ice, you know, and some of them, like the what am I wearing? The Bigfoot one, which is probably my favorite next to Disco Sucks. I redid the vintage Disco Sucks, and I'm thinking about redoing Have You Hugged Your Kid Today, but Have You Hugged Your DNA Today? I think that's my next one. Remember that bumper sticker everybody had in the 80s? Have you hugged your kid today?
Right.
Have you hugged your DNA today? Some of us can't.
Another good one would be Pure Blood.
Yeah. Pure Blood would be a.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, the ones that's more. Yeah, that's more of the baseball bat in the face ones. You know, the ones that are funny and the baseball bat in the face are the two that I end up doing. And there's been such another favorite one that had nothing to do with much, but it was the I Love New York, but instead it was I Love and had a picture of a M16 underneath it. That was the good one with just the shadow of it, you know, in black, like it would say NW. You know, I love redoing the old vintage ideas too, because when you can take something that people have from their past, like say one time I came up with a really good Partridge Family little video, and you know how the bird comes out and shakes the tail and the shell flies away. As soon as the shell flies away, you hear a gunshot and blood splatters all over the screen and the bird drops. Now people like that because it's like part of their past. Who didn't watch Partridge Family? You know, if you watched it, and then so being able to connect vintage ideas to things that are going on in the world today help people get over that hump of this is bullshit. It helps them marry the idea a little bit better, I think. You know what I am like? I took the voting sticker that says I voted today, and then underneath it said, but it didn't count. How many kids? I mean, it's the same damn sticker that your mom was wearing back in 1970 when she would go vote, and the same one you get today. You know, so it's part of our vintage, our lineage, and our history, and taking that and representing that in whatever problem we're having today, I think is a good way to get a message across. And those are the techniques that I try to use. I like making t-shirts way more than I like doing videos, but it's the same hook that I use in the videos that I use in the t-shirts. I have to have something meaty at the beginning. I have to have proof of it too, if it's intel. But the idea is to get the hook in the viewer's mouth right away in the first minute through the truth, but in a juicy way to get them to the finish line at the end of the video. And I have the highest, like, I don't get a lot of views anymore, but my click through rate is astronomical. It's astronomical. I mean, it's 3-4 times what they want to see. But that's because my viewers are watching every single second of the video, and I'm so suppressed that, you know, I'm going to be stuck under, you know, 5,000 forever. But who cares? That's 5,000 people that could talk to one person one day and make it 10,000 people.
Well, and then that's the thing about us joining together and getting on the same side, because we can start spreading the same messages and helping everybody out. And it's not about me at all. I don't give two shits about sitting here and doing this, and I do this for free. I will take donations. All my donations go to another cause. I don't
feeding
use
homeless people, right?
But I've been misrepresented on several different levels. Every piece of glass that I've given away on this show, I paid for out of my pocket. Those were donated to me to go to a good cause by my friend Larry, and I do that diligently. You know what? I'm struggling with money. If I'm giving a $12 piece of glass away a night for somebody that put the 10th comment in there, and I started doing that regularly,
plus shipping,
plus the shipping, I pay for that out of my pocket, and I have not used any of that money for anything other than what our movement is about. And if anybody says differently, that's a lie. And if you want to come do inventory, I have an inventory sheet.
And on my t-shirts, for the record, after taxes, I get to keep about $3 or $3.30, somewhere in there, after Uncle Sam's paid. But he might not get paid this year because I'm not paying for this shit. This ain't what I'm paying for. I need some representation. So in the case I don't pay taxes and I write them a letter and tell them to shove it up their ass, then I would probably be in the $4.50, almost $5 range on the t-shirts. But they're $19, and they start at $19. And I'm not saying you got to use mine. You can go on Teespring and make your own. And I highly encourage you make your own. If you have a good idea, it doesn't matter. If it's your idea and you love it and you know it's the truth, put it on the back of a t-shirt. It's going to cost you $17 on Teespring to get it printed and sent to your house. Plus they raise shipping a little bit. It's like $4 now, $5 maybe.
I'll get you in touch with David. He can make you some crazy ones that'll fucking kill it.
What t-shirt? Well, David could do it on his own. That's already my expertise. I mean, I'm a marketing genius, dude. That is one thing I could do. I can market stuff. If my heart's in it? You know, if my heart's in it, it's easy for me to get everybody on board, you know, to get people to agree. Seeing a picture of Jimmy Carter with his big silly face and it says "Miss me yet" underneath is 10 times funnier than Trump. Because anybody who was alive during the Carter administration remembers that he is voted the worst president in United States history. Literally. I think, no, he's number 3.
I think that about to change.
Hold my beer.
beer.
We need to get one of those with Biden said, "Hold my beer."
Dude, you can put that one out and put that money towards your thing. That's a great one. Hold my beer. That's great. That is great. And you know what? Here's the trick, guys. If you want to make your own t-shirt, is the White House has an official photograph of the president, and that is public domain. So you can't get in trouble for using it.
Right.
So yeah, so you grab the picture and then you download one of those apps that cuts the background out, and then you put the words underneath. I use what's the app? PicMonkey, I think it's called PicMonkey, something monkey, and I type the words underneath the picture, and then I bring it into the other app that cuts out the background, and I'm left with just the picture of Biden and the words underneath that says "Hold my beer." And then you go, and then it's real easy. You just click the file you want on the front or the back of the t-shirt, and boom. And then you buy your own t-shirt. And then at the end of you loading your own t-shirt, they ask you, do you want to buy your own t-shirt? And I always do.
Heck yeah.
So if you want to make your own t-shirt, it's that easy. But I'm telling you, you can't afford a billboard on the highway. You can afford a t-shirt, and wear it on Saturdays and Sundays when you're out and about in the community, and get the message across. Especially local politic t-shirts would be very effective in especially small towns. I mean, there's all kinds of things you could do. It could be as simple as you saying that your state representative took $10,000 from Soros. Guess who got Soros money? Then get her official picture, which is paid for by the people, and use that and put, guess who got 10,000 from Soros last year? That's an effective t-shirt.
Right. Right.
And you're out $17.
Can I address the chat for a little bit?
Sure.
Look, guys, I can't watch every comment that goes by in chat. Every blue wrench in this room, I trust those people. If you've been timed out, maybe you made a derogative statement. Our rules are very simple here. Be respectful to each other in chat. Be respectful to the panel, and especially be respectful to the panel. If you're talking shit from down there, I normally drop the link enough times that all you have to do is click it. There are very few people that are not welcome in this chat. Very, very few. Very, very few. If Sage wanted to come in here, I would entertain that. I would absolutely would.
You know what? I'd be happy to do him on a separate show, but tonight is not going to be a Jerry Springer night for me.
No, but I'm not saying that we're going to do it tonight, because I'm not going to. I've sent the link out.
I'm happy.
Yeah, but my mods do the best they can. Mrs. Dreamweaver catches a lot of heat. I know Mrs. Dreamweaver. I know she is a fair person, and she'll argue with you back and forth, and then she'll send me a text message and ask me if it's okay to boot somebody. I don't need her to send me a text message. I already know. I can't watch it. If she thinks it's appropriate, it's appropriate. So if you want to get back in, then you have to go through Miss Dreamweaver. If Miss Dreamweaver took you out, I'm sorry.
I got a good idea I was going to tell you about backstage, but I'll tell you now.
Okay.
So, talk to your mods, or a couple of them at least, and ask them not to block anybody or take any comments down unless obviously they're like within YouTube regulations or whatever. But just to make a list of people, then tomorrow morning when you wake up or when you get time, you personally go back in the chat and also ask her to write down the time next to it, about what time, because there's usually a time next to the comment, about what time the comment was made. And then you go back in and you block them from your channel. Now, you don't lose them as a viewer, because when they come and they watch your live streams, you get credit for them sitting through your live streams. But when they comment, nobody sees it and they don't know. And so when they're in the chat talking to people and they're saying shitty things, they have no idea that nobody sees it. And
They
then
do
when they're
now.
in your comments, well, then maybe they won't say anything stupid tonight. But what I would honestly do is go like a week back in your shows, grab a show that probably had a lot of bad things said in it, and go through. And I mean, you'll see, because you own the channel, it'll say comment deleted by moderator, and you can click on it and see the comment too. But I would say just let them be stealth and let anything go through. And you know what? The people that are the biggest problem will never have any idea that nobody sees their comment unless they bring somebody else in the chat and say, let me know if you can't see my comment. And at that point, they're just going to stop watching. And so what? You're growing.
Yes. Well,
that's what I do.
And seeing that's another reason. Okay, I know a lot of people that are watching on their TVs want to see the chat on the screen. I leave that up there because, and I'll tell you something else. If anybody comes into my chat and my mods can't see your comment in the regular chat and they can see it on the screen, they'll boot you immediately. I used to be king of trolls, baby. There's a reason I put that up there. So
interesting. I did not know that.
Yes, sir. That's the only reason I do it. Well, other than there are some elderly people that like to watch it on their TV, and they can't see the chat, so they want to see it up on their big screen, which is perfectly fine.
You mean that's why I can't read chat? I need to put a big screen in my little van here so I can read it.
There you go.
Is Essential got to go to work?
Yes, she had to go. She had to go to work.
Bye, Essential.
Thanks, Essential.
I'm a recovered ex-troll. That's right.
Essential, have a good night. And from me, and I'm sure the rest of the panel, we really appreciate your input tonight.
Yes, you were lovely.
Yes, thank you.
Well, we're gonna build a community, but the way we do it is we sit down and we talk.
Amen.
That we're never bickering. We're never going anywhere bickering. We have to find common ground, and even Red. I do 3-hour shows. My phone rings 8 hours a day, and I'm gonna have to get a job.
I know exactly what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Like before I took my break, my sabbatical, I was literally at 16 hours a day and about 4 hours sleep.
Yes.
Before I was able to go back to work, I was 18, 19 hours a day and 2 or 3 hours sleep.
Yeah.
And it's mentally destructive and financially very destructive too. Yeah, I mean, at the time I couldn't, do my the thing that I do that requires eyesight, but yeah, I know exactly what you mean, and my community has, I would be so screwed without my viewers. I would be so screwed with the last 2 years, but I think that losing my eyesight in the one eye was the greatest blessing that I ever had. And it allowed me to be a part of this movement in a way that when I die, nobody will know what I did, or I won't have a bunch of cheerleaders there saying he did a great job, but I'll know I did. And my daughter will know I did. And that's all, that's all I need is like the greatest moment in my life is going to be seeing this through to an end that will give my grandchildren a better life than I had.
I'd like to jump in here for a minute if this is okay with you, Travis.
Go ahead.
Miss D, my significant other of over 40 plus years, is facing a couple of surgeries coming up here real quick. One of them is eye surgery. And I would appreciate it if we could get some prayers going for her, because with her blood cancer and everything else that she has on top of this, she needs all the prayers and all the help from God she can get on this one.
Amen.
Absolutely. We'll keep her in our prayers.
Daily. Very daily.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
When's the eye operation? You mind if I ask?
Tuesdays is her second eye operation, and then she's got one more after that because they got to go back and correct something in the eye they just did.
Yeah, that's what they had to do. So she's getting about three per eye.
Yeah,
3 operations. That's what I got.
And then they have also got to go in and do some work possibly on her heart. Well, basically put a defibrillator and a uh, what do they call that thing where they stent in her heart.
Oh, yeah. Those stints are come a long way. That's a good technology nowadays.
Yes, it is, but
Is there retina damage or was it something else?
it was something else.
Okay.
And thing of it is, like in my case, Red, I was born with one eye.
My
The other,
gramps too.
the other eye is amblyopic. But you know what? I haven't let that deter me one bit. I've always been the person that I am today, outspoken, someone that stands up for the little guy, and someone that looks out for the poor and the indigent.
Amen. I don't know what that second word is that you said. Ambient. What was that word?
Amblyopic. It means that it's what they call a lazy eye. Kind of
Oh,
like me. Kind of like me on a day after I've had a few too many beers when I used to drink.
yeah. You know, side story is Nia Vardalis from My Big Fat Greek Wedding. She was my director 3 times at Second City, and I had a big crush on her, and I was hitting on her all the time. And she was dating Ian at the time, but she has a lazy eye. So when you watch that movie, uh, watch her right before they cut scenes. Almost every single one of her scenes in that movie, you see her lazy eye go fly up in the corner on almost every cut. It's and I didn't even know I didn't even know she was in a movie or anything. It was like I haven't seen Nia in like 10 years, and then a bride took me to the movies to go see a chick flick, and I'm like, oh shit. And then I look up on the screen, and her face is just the whole screen is Nia, and I just started crying. It was like a very proud day for me. And Nia was very good friends, which fears me very much. She only got that movie because of Tom Hanks's wife saw her play, and she's very, very she was really tight with Stephen Colbert and Stephen Carell, but Stephen Carell. So I do think she's part of the deep state now, and then that makes me sick to my stomach. But she's got a lazy eye. I feel like that movie, if she puts out another movie and you watch it, watch her lazy eye. Every time they cut the camera, her eye flies up in the corner. So I don't know how useful that is, but
Miss D just said to tell Red, Travis, and Joy that she loves all of you guys, and she loves Essential, and that anything she can do to help us, she is willing to do.
she's sitting out in the cold with you right now. That's a lot.
Yeah, but remember, I do heating and air conditioning and plumbing, so I got a nice warm van.
Nice.
Just like your first date.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing is sitting in a van, I can't get her to scoot over next to me too close because of the fact that it's two bucket seats and not a bench seat.
Oh, you messed up. The bench seat is the what makes it all work, that makes the date work. Well, that's too bad.
First date I ever took her out on, I took her in a 1970 Chevy K10 with a bench seat in it, and I don't think you could have put a sheet of paper between the two of us.
Was that a pickup truck? A K10?
Yes, four wheel drive pickup truck, 1970 Chevy.
You know, off subject, I think Burt Reynolds' car sold today. If it didn't sell today, it's going to sell tomorrow. Jackson Barrett, I'm going to be watching his personal TA, not the one that was in the movie, but the one that the Pontiac gave him. I don't know.
I was going to say, for several years, there was a excavating company in my hometown that ended up buying one of the trucks that was used by Jerry Reed to drive in that movie.
The front of the truck, right? Not the trailer.
Just the tractor, not the trailer.
Yeah.
But they had a bulldozer on the back of it, and I've actually drove that truck.
Are they refinishing it to the original? Because it probably got painted.
It still had the original paint on it. You can still see the outline of the stickers that they had on the doors. But they have kept the patina. They clear coated it and everything else.
That's cool. All they need is a trailer with a good wrap on it with that artwork, and that should be easy to get that artwork. Wraps are real cheap. It's the labor you're paying for, I heard. The labor is where all that cost comes in.
Correct. And I'm sorry about my echo tonight. I've been having internet problems. I've had to reboot my phone 3 times.
You
I don't
sound
know
good
what's
now.
causing it.
I don't either.
We're
Ah,
echoing, but
hey,
you're not.
I'm in the middle of BFE up here in Kansas, so you know what that's like. It's hit and miss when you get signals, and especially when you add bad weather on top of it, that has a tendency to mess things up.
Yeah. I sure would like to talk about people who want to, who are ready to get off the grid and go start farming. People with no money, people who are close to broke. There's some great ideas out there. First and most important one is to lease the land. Get a 5, 7, 10-year lease on some land, and start with nothing. Start with a trailer. Live in a frickin' camper. But people who want to talk about that, start hanging around my channel. I'll direct you into my other secret channel that we have that is asshole free. We've maintained an asshole free environment over there because I do think that's really, there's a huge move towards that. And with Bill Gates buying up all of the farmland in America, always buy what the billionaires are buying, they say, right?
Right. Well, there, you want to get into the land talk, or we could. Yeah, you're still echoing, Will. Let's talk about Oklahoma. I came from Oklahoma, lived there a lot of years. Technically, I still live in Oklahoma, but I'm just staying up here and working up here. Um, it's illegal for a foreign entity to own land in Oklahoma, and some of our farmers are selling land to foreign entities. There are 13. I don't think there's that many states. Uh, there's only a number of states that will not allow foreign entities, regardless, to own American soil. And why are we letting that happen? I'm actually sending emails on a daily basis to our people in Oklahoma asking the question, and they won't answer it.
China owns the largest pork farm in America. They sell to McDonald's.
They can rent that land, but they can't own that land. Now they own the land.
Oh, they were leasing the land before.
Yep. Smith Foods and Seaboard's how that whole deal started.
And National Beef and other beef processing plants are right in there with them, along with Tyson Foods. They're all pretty much either at least 51% owned by the CCP or uh, completely owned by them.
Right. JB Swift is a Brazilian-owned company. I actually know somebody that works for JB Swift. He's actually the CEO of Five Rivers, who is owned by them. And I'm actually going to get it. I'm trying to get him to come on one night. His name's Mike. I won't give his last name. I actually trained him when I worked in the feedlot industry when I was younger. He's a great guy. He would have some insight and maybe bring some things to the table that I think will make it a really good conversation.
Well, I have an idea for a show one night that I'm going to run by both of you guys. And Joy, if you're listening, you can chime in. You know, everybody's talking about food prices and everything else. Let's take a half hour out of one show a week, or even an hour, and let's take and discuss growing, canning, dehydrating, freeze drying, and stuff like that to help these people that are new to this do it. And let's also throw in some survival tips, some bushcraft and stuff like that.
That's a good idea.
That would help.
That would
And
be a
that's
good channel idea, dude.
there's a lot of
That's a whole
channels
thought.
out there. There's a lot of channels out there on it, but still they're being shadow banned just like a lot of other channels are, and I think this would be a platform where we could even get some of those people involved. Black Scout Survival is one that comes to my mind off the top of my head because I just watched one of his videos earlier today. You know, things like that. Bushcraft 101 is another one. You know, you can learn how to make you a survival shelter with what's out there with just machete and a little bit of paracord. You know, this is stuff that has been forgotten. And another great book, and I don't push this because of the fact that I don't feel like hawking for somebody, but the gentleman that wrote the book, The Lost Ways, I personally have two copies of it, and I will tell you right now that talks about things that our forefathers used to travel across the country. Because even with game meat, it was sporadic, so they had to have long-term storages and stuff of food that would last. Pemmican is a prime example of a superfood that's made out of meat, berries, and stuff like that that lasts a very, very, very long time. Matter of fact, I've got some pemmican right now myself that's over 15 years old that's still good to eat.
Wow. You know, I'm an instrument builder, a stringed instrument builder, and I have for about a decade now. I have wanted to build a chuck wagon, and I would love to build a chuck wagon just from nothing, just except for the wheels. I'd get the pros to do the wheels because that's a different game, but I would love to do that, and I wanted to say, along with those list of people that you may want to watch, Joe Salatin is he is the pinnacle of teaching people how to farm without a barn, without a tractor, without a building. Everything is mobile. Everything is mobile. I built a chicken tractor. He has a very interesting design for a chicken tractor if you're going to be, doing a couple thousand chickens a year. But if you just want to do 5 or 6, it's all scalable. All of his ideas are scalable from 1 chicken to 100,000 chickens or cattle for that instance. And he teaches you how regenerative farming, which means if you got 10 acres and you got 3 cows, you divide those 10 acres into 7 paddocks, and every day you move them to the next paddock, letting the grass regenerate in the first paddock, and you won't be back for 7 days. Actually, his theory, it's different, but that's the scalable idea, is to teach you how to never have to buy any grain for your cattle and to keep them, because every time they walk over it, all you're doing is reproducing what happened to the grass 200 years ago when there were no fences and buffalo were walking through. What did they do? They trampled the grass, they ate the stuff that they liked, and they moved on. But a lot of farmers, and why cows get a bad name today, is because cows stand in the exact same spot their whole life, and they shit, and they get worms, and they get diseases because they're standing in the same place every day. But when they move to a new paddock tomorrow, they don't have those flies that laid the larva in their poop floating around them. And another idea Joe came up with is you put your chickens behind the cows, because the chickens come through, they spread out the cow shit, and they eat all of the maggots that would turn into flies and give you big, fat, juicy eggs. So if you want to do something and you're ready to get off the grid and get away from this craziness and go exactly where they don't want you to go, which is off the grid, then Joe Salatin is a great place to start. Also, Greg Judy, the name of his channel is, it doesn't matter, just put Greg Judy in. And there's a couple of really good Greg Judy playlists out there if you guys are ready to stop depending, even if you want to be like me and just have a couple chickens in the backyard because you don't trust food anymore because you saw my magnetic food videos from Walmart, then these are ideas that you can easily implement, as I have.
Green Greg's also has a good channel on worm farms and stuff like that, of how to regenerate your soil.
There is so much money in worms, dude. It is crazy how much worm shit goes for. It's $8 a pound, I think.
Also, another channel, getting back to the Chuck Wagon, would be Cowboy Kent Rollins. And believe
I
me,
love Kent Rollins.
some of his stuff that he fixes, oh my God, it's delicious.
I was going to get a book autograph from him the week before they put the COVID thing, and he canceled. He was coming to my area with this new second cookbook, and he is number one. I love Kent Rollins. He is a damn good. He teaches you some stuff, some really good. And his home remedies video he just put out the other day was really good.
Sorry, there's too many things going on. I'm getting distracted. RH has got some stuff he wants to share, and I think we're staying on track. And one of the things that Joy's very, very, very good at is keeping us on track. Thank you, Joy. We stayed on our topic a lot better tonight than we normally do because our us gentlemen have ADD, squirrel 17, and
Yeah.
But we want to build our communities together, and I think she's done a fantastic job. People are asking in the chat why she's here. That's why she's here, because it's about making a difference. It's not about listening to bullshit, just like you were talking about earlier. We have an obligation to save. I have 7 grandkids and 2 great grandkids. It's about saving our country for those people, period. There's nothing left for me. They can come shoot me tomorrow and I'm okay. I worry about my children and my grandchildren. And I don't give a shit about anybody else.
And Joy is a very powerful patriot.
Yes.
And without her, this conversation wouldn't have been half of what it is. And
Agreed.
Anyone who is complaining about Joy in the chat couldn't hold a candle to her in what she has done and the hours that she puts in. You are a spoiled piece of crap American fat ass who likes to get stuff handed on a spoon in their favorite flavor. If you got a problem with Joy, my opinion.
Aw, thank you.
Right on. But I couldn't have said it better. Thank you.
And I'd like to add to that just a little bit. Anybody that's attacking any ladies in here with their opinions, the ladies have just as much, if not better, information than we do. And I will tell you right now, I am proud to call both of the ladies that were in here tonight, Essential and Joy, a friend. And I will stand up for them till hell freezes over. And
they're both smarter than me. I'm just funnier. I'm funner to listen to, but they're smarter. So take your choice.
Wait a minute. Let me grab my rhino horn real quick. Woo woo.
Oh, there's a rhino. Oh, they're requesting it. Red, I really appreciate your comments, and I really am sincere when I say that I hope we can make this a regular thing, and we can, fine tune the message every time we talk.
Amen. I'm in. I'd love to do it once a month.
Great.
And
more often as needed.
Yeah, exactly.
And if I don't have technical difficulties, I'm glad to be here too. And I'll tell you straight up, Red, you're one of the best on this place for trying to work with people, trying to make them see things that they don't see otherwise. I like Jeff B. Jeff B. brings some great intel. Liberty Warrior brings great things into the room. Even Rhino, even though I give him BS, does bring some valid points and good info into it. And I thought last night with Shane was exceptional.
Absolutely. I thought we had a great show.
I fell asleep to it. It was good.
Well, good.
I missed the drinking part.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
It's an open invitation. You could come for drinking night. It's an open invitation.
I haven't had drinks since I got married, and look how that turned out.
Well, I didn't. I was drinking soda, but I didn't tell anybody that.
Oh.
I kept it to myself. But.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I got accused of having Irish in my coffee last night, and I haven't had a drink in a long, long time.
We're not missing anything. Who needs them days? Let's step up. Let's step up and let's be the best patriots we can. And if we are not, if we are filled with negativity, let's just take a couple days to dissipate that, replace it with love, and move forward. Because the only way we're going to win this war, it doesn't mean that we're not going to fight and people won't die, but we have to fight this war with love. That's the bottom line.
100%. Britt, this was a spur of the moment deal we put together, shoot by the hip. I would love to be able to plan shows, and we're working on that. Joy's teaching me organization skills that I'm not good with. I can blame it on ADHD, and I can tell you how much time I don't have, and it's a real deal. Red, you know as well as I do, when you do this, your world just explodes. You know, like you were saying a while ago, you spend 20 hours a day doing this. You can literally spend your whole time doing this.
You ignore important things in your life.
Yep.
Like
when Travis asked me to come on this show and talk about something, I actually prepare for it, and then after the show is over, the show's not really over because we follow up on certain things. People contact us about us, and sometimes it feels like a full-time job. And as you know, we don't ask for any money on this show. We do it because we care about this stuff. I've lost money by doing YouTube. Not that money is the issue. So, it's especially difficult to respond when people question your motives because it's an open platform. Anyone can come up. They can come up on panel.
And the only people questioning your motives are people who are following the Antifa playbook. So the conversations with those people is they are, as soon as they get their sentence out, it sucks the happiness out of you. That's a clear sign that this is a conversation that we do not need to have with this person.
That's a great
Their
way
opinion
to put
doesn't matter.
It's a great way to put it because when Travis asked, every time I'm on this panel, it's at his invitation. I do not call him and say, gee, Travis, I want to be on every night on the show. He asked me to come up because I'm able to help kind of structure the conversation because I've done this kind of thing before.
And because he's got ADD.
And she's very good.
Otherwise, we'd be talking about monkey butts.
I've got A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z. But you know
when
what?
we talk about the show, we talked about it yesterday. We talked at great length about it yesterday, and he has big plans for it, and I want to help. So when people get abusive about whatever personalities up here, it does exactly that. It sucks the joy right out of it. Not just for me, forget about me, for Travis too. So I think that's a fair assessment of it, and that's an excellent way of putting it. Because you put your heart and soul into something, and then people just take pot shots. What we could use is more help. That would actually be great, and I would work with anybody in the chat. Anybody who volunteers. We have RH sends me material. I appreciate that. David does stuff behind the scenes that helps us. That's what we need. Enough said.
Agreed. And you're not going to get too many people stepping up, as at least a small percentage of the people that are complaining as if we owed them something. They're welcome to come and listen, and they're welcome to come and be a part of giving us ideas on how to do what we're trying to do better would be useful. But who cares if you don't like somebody, then go away. Mike Penny's got somebody you'll probably like. Go listen to Mike Penny. Go. It doesn't matter. If you're going to be negative here, you're not going to be positive in the fight. So you're useless to us. Right. So like I was saying earlier, Trainwreck, when this whole thing's over, go through and just put the block them from your channels, what it called. They're not going to figure it out for a long time, and then they're going to fade away. Just get rid of them. What I have learned with a 70K, 69.1K channel going down to a 2,500K channel, 2,500 people channel is that the only thing I lost was the cancer. I have the most powerful family around me, and I have a concentrated form of the greatest patriots that YouTube has ever seen. And they're not an audience. They are an army. They are an army of digital soldiers, an army of patriots who are willing to do anything. So even if you lose 90% of your audience and you keep that 10%, you're going to go way further with that 10% than carrying 90% of that dead weight and trying to make them happy. It don't work. They're here to make you fail.
Yep.
Well, I'd like to jump in here for a second. If that's okay,
Good
Travis.
luck, Travis.
Hey, I got strong arms. I'm holding my hand up over here. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Travis. I can wait.
Well, and I think Red picked on some good things there. You're echoing again, Will. There we go. No, still echoing. There you go. Maybe. No. Yes. Check. See, I lost my train of thought. But we have a movement, and Red, you're exactly right. We got to pick out the wrong people, or let if they leave my chat, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me anymore. You know what? I'm here for a good cause. I don't care what you think. If you want to come see my books, I will show you my books, and let's do the inventory.
I won't.
But truly in my heart, I'm running in the red right now, and doesn't matter.
Just the streaming service. What does this cost you? $30 a month or more?
Nope, doesn't cost me nothing. This streaming
is
really free.
Wow.
I do this for free. I don't take
I just cut my bill. Mine was $30 a month on StreamYard, and I had to let it go, so I'm doing it with no frills.
Restream will let you stream to one platform for free. I'm actually thinking about using Streamlabs. Streamlabs will let you do 30 for free.
Oh my God, Streamlabs is such a pain in the ass to figure out, dude.
I know.
If you figured it out, then good. But if you didn't figure it out,
but I got a tech guy that can help us. That
you're gonna need him.
He's really, really good. He's really, really good, and he's now becoming infatuated by what I do, because he said, "Look, dude," he said, "you walk around in jeans that fucking knees are cut out of," and he said, "You're helping people." I'm like, I don't need anything. I know. He's a great dude. So they're helping me. They've set me up tech wise, and they see that I want to bring it into the communities, and now they're getting interested. So that's the movement we need to keep going. You know, I don't care whether you like Trump or hated Trump. He started a movement that was massive in America that sparked the hearts of people, and we want to keep that movement going no matter what those other assholes are saying.
Courage breeds courage.
That's right. 2 years ago, Red, you'd never got me on a stage to talk to anybody. I'll talk to 10,000 people right now, just like I am right now. Go ahead, Will.
I'd just like to jump in here for a minute and say, personally, I have no access to grind with anybody on this. I have no horse in this race as far as, you know, YouTube or anything like that. I have no channels, no nothing. I'm doing this out of the belief that we do need to make some changes in this country and in the world to make it a better place for everybody.
Yes.
And, you know, people that jump on here say, well, what's your YouTube channel? What's your this? What's your that? I don't have one. I don't want one. All I want to do is get the message out to people that we need to come together, work together to make changes, to make this a better cities, counties, states, and a nation, and a better world, and to bring people together with like-minded ideas, and to try to take care of the lesser fortunate, the elderly, the disabled, and to make this world so much better for everybody. Thank you.
Very well said.
Joy, anything
Well,
on
I
your
will
mind?
talk to you guys. I will talk soon, and Red, we'll see you again.
Right
Yeah,
on.
this was a great conversation. I think we established our ground rules and in what we're trying to do. Just like you said earlier, the intel is not it's bullshit. 70% of it's probably a lie. But if we're not at least trying to look at it, we're never going to know what the hell's going on, and we're not going to know what the hell's going on anyway. But at least we can try to make some sanity out of insanity.
And we're forming rules of engagement here, and those
Yeah,
include the engagement with the audience and the zero tolerance that needs to happen, because this live stream needs to be closed with a bow on top, uh and overflowing with love. And if there's people in here that are not up for that tonight, they could go somewhere else and do it. And we'll just I'll look forward to the day I can come in here and those people are silent, whether they know it or not.
right. Yep. Amen. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for reaching out to us today. It really did mean a lot. Um, uh,
It was fun.
because I think it's something that's important to us as individuals. You know what? You have how many children do you have? You used to have the one daughter, Red,
That I know of, yes.
that you know. Fair enough.
Well, I didn't think my wife was the mother and I was going to have the kid tested when she was born, but that's a confusing joke. Don't try and figure it out.
Okay.
So,
Hey, Red, that's almost as bad as I got accused of having a child up here in Kansas while I was living in Texas. I mean, let's say I think that's dang sure an impossibility.
I guess, yeah, that would, yeah, unless you could reach. I'm sorry, why'd you ask again? Because of the future? You were asking about how many children?
Yes. Yes. How many children do you know that you have?
One.
Okay. Well, I have 6 children. How many of those are my children, and how many of those are biologically my children? My numbers don't change. They're my children.
Amen.
Don't treat anybody else's children any different than you treat your own. Teach them
Amen.
the same. You know my mini me that come on here. She did. She. I can't wait for you and her and Rhino to have a conversation. My mini me she is spot on me, and my ex-wife and I didn't have an affair at the time that she was conceived, but I'm telling you that's my child 100%.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah, but I was on another show the other day and they were talking about not raising people's children. You know what? Those children didn't do a fucking thing to you. Stand your ass up. If you want that mama, you own that child.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, that was kind of a rant.
Let's also put this in. It takes a village to raise a child. That was always instilled into me when I was little.
Yeah.
When we grew up, if we got in trouble at school or at a neighbor's, mom and dad already knew about it before we got home because they got on that party line and told them, and everybody in town knew about it. And believe me, you may got in trouble with the neighbor, but you got it three times worse when you got home.
That's right.
Yeah, you don't get in trouble with the neighbor's mom anymore. The lady next door. Your mom comes out screaming if she yelled at you because you killed her flowers or something with your bike.
Well,
Yeah.
Anymore, instead of them reaching out to the parents, they call CPS. Well, that's the most corrupt child trafficking thing I've ever witnessed in my life.
Yeah, that woman. It never made the newspapers that woman that ran CPS nationally was went to jail for trafficking children.
That's my
I think it was selling children. I think it had something to do with Oprah. I can't. It's been a while since I read it, but you're right.
Yep.
I had a friend at work that went through the same thing, and CPS was getting real weird on him and his wife. Real weird over a really non-issue. The kid got his foot stuck in the couch and twisted his foot and broke his foot. And like he was playing around, jumping on the couch with his brother. And there was no question about it. All the kids said the same story, and they got really freaking weird. Real, like he had to be away from his kid for an X number of days. It was real strange. Those people, that is probably part of what we need to solve here. And if anybody thinks that they're walking into the chat and they're going to distract from the conversation at hand, it's not going to happen. And please understand, when you go to bed tonight, you're on Satan's side. It's not Democrat versus Republican. I've been a Democrat my whole life. I hated the Bushes, hated them with every ounce soul of my heart. So I simply could not vote for a Republican when I was younger. And I voted Republican the last 2 times I voted. Was the first 2 times I ever voted Republican in my life. And I don't know what I am politically now, but I know that I am a patriot. And I'm fighting.
Are you a red-blooded American that's willing to give up your life for your...
Totally.
Amen,
yeah.
bro.
I'll take the hit, and I'm not giving it to the kids. I ain't passing this one down. And if you want to come in this chat and you want to talk shit with no meat on your bone, then you're not for that, and you're not a part of our club. So get the fuck out.
Amen. Thank you very much. Well said. Go ahead. Joy.
Can I jump in for just 1 second? I think that it doesn't matter if we're Republican. I don't think it matters if we're Democrat. I don't think it matters that we're independent. What matters is we are patriots and realists. And I think when people wake up and see that, then we can start rebuilding this nation.
Amen.
And let me say, good time that I'm glad I just remembered this, is if you go on YouTube and you look for Repulsive Republican, it's a channel I made that's covert, that's made to look, anything you find that says Repulsive Republican, like I have the full documentary of what happened on January 6th on YouTube under that name also. So if you want to red pill somebody with that video, I also have links from a Dropbox. If any of the Antifa guys in here want to flag that video, go ahead. Satan will only get you an extra inch deeper when he gets you down there and make you happy. But the Repulsive Republican is specifically short videos without me long form talking in the front that you can show to people to help red pill them. Like, for instance, Stephen Colbert, or more importantly, Joe Biden squeezing that little girl's nipple. I showed that to a woman who grew up in public housing with big rats, and up until she met me was convinced that Martin Luther King was a Democrat. And that woman saw that video, and she will never vote for Biden again. She despises Joe Biden because I showed in that video Joe Biden literally squeezing that little girl's nipple over and over and over again. So this woman felt sick. So go use that. That is more material. If you don't want to do a billboard on the city, no stickers for you, no t-shirt for you, go to Repulsive Republican. The videos are named to force these blue zombies to click. The names of the videos are opposite of what we think, but it's what they think, so they will click. Stephen Colbert's greatest hits, I think, is over there. And it's him about to do very bad things to a child. And I also matched up his eyeglasses. If you go to Stephen Colbert's very first YouTube video on YouTube, and you match them up to the eyeglasses that the guy is wearing in the video, they're the exact same frames, exactly the same frames from exactly the same manufacturer. And if you don't know, Stephen Colbert's left ear is made of fat off of his skin, off of his ass or leg, because he was born without an ear. So he's got this fake little flappy thing on that side of his head. Just information for when you see more of that video of him. So that's all I got. But please use that stuff wisely. I spent hours making those videos so you have something to show somebody. That's all I got. Thanks, guys.
Red, I followed you for about 2 years. Love your stuff.
Thank you.
It's been a great honor that we've been able to get on a public platform and talk about things. And I think we have the same goals in mind. And if we don't stick together, we're never going to survive. Am I
Nope.
correct?
Amen. Amen, brother. And when I say brother, I mean my patriot blood brother. I will stand by your side and fight this fight for as long as you want to. And I will help you bulldoze through all of these Antifa type style people that come at us.
I appreciate that. I actually have my little secret weapon up there. And Joy, would you please become my co-host for this show?
Absolutely. Why wouldn't I?
Well, this is more your show than it is mine, in my
No,
opinion.
that's not true. Chat's gonna blow up if you say something like that.
That's
Well,
I'm
good. We
happy to
need to
help you.
figure them out. We need to
I
find out
actually,
who's who.
I
Let it
mean,
blow.
I would help you without being your co-host. I would help you forever without being your co-host. So, um,
I I think Joy brings a lot to the world, and and every time I see a comment that's negative towards her, pisses me off because she's an intelligent woman. She brings a different opinion, and we just sit here and have a nice conversation. You know what? Joy and I
well,
don't agree on everything. We have conversations about everything, though.
well, and I understand every one of those negative comments. It's the same people all the time, and not one of those people has ever spoken to me personally, because everybody affiliated with this program who has spoken to me and reached out in any way or even emailed me or gone back and forth, we're all good. So I know where it's coming from. There's no, I really would rather not be talking about it because there's so much that Travis wants to do with this channel, and we're kind of on the same page. And I would help you behind the scenes. I actually told him a few nights ago, and you can tell your audience if this is true or not. I said, I'm not going to come on panel anymore. Don't send me any more links. I'm not coming on. I'm just going to help you behind the scenes. Did that happen?
That's your no.
We had that
Uh,
conversation.
we had that conversation, and then Shane kind of broke that for us.
Yeah. So, well, I,
She didn't
The
want to
um,
people
bring
with the
negativity.
comments.
She
The
didn't want
people
to.
with the comments. I'm sorry. Go on.
She didn't want to bring negativity to the channel, but all she's doing is growing this channel because uh, she speaks truth. She brings facts, and if she'll back it up. I promise you.
well, I told Travis I didn't want to bring any negative attention because it seemed like, right, we've done shows together, and I think, um, I originally reached out to Travis about his charity stuff, not about the show. And,
Right.
Oh.
and we started talking about things. So I think it's just important for people to know that. And a week ago, after we did the big show, the multi channel show, I told Travis, I'm out. I'm not going to bring any more negativity. Not negative attention. I don't want to make his show a target because somebody has really an imaginary fight with me because I've never fought with anybody on this channel. So if any feud out there, perceived or otherwise in the chat, is imaginary because it's certainly not nothing I know about. If there's something going on that is happening without my knowledge, that's on somebody else. It's not on me. But I offered to never come on, which I think would be is not what Travis wanted. So I've just been
You're
pushing.
because you're triggering the triggered.
I
And that's
guess.
really, yeah. So what we're doing is what I'm watching you do is you guys are trying to redirect the stream because it doesn't make the triggered happy. And Travis, if this was your girlfriend and these 9 people or 5 people or 3 people said any of these things to you in real life, what would you do?
I'd hit him in the mouth.
Right. And on this show, she is your partner. just as much as the girl that you dated when you were 17 walking out of the, she's your partner on the show. So
Yes.
those people need to be treated in the same way. If they can't show the basic respect that you require them to show to your lady, then what we're doing from here forward is we're eliminating those people from the platform and from our view. They could come and watch us all they want, but we don't have to see or hear them. You know,
And I feel bad
that's
too
where we
that
should
you.
go.
I feel bad, Red, that you have to come on a show, and there's so much that we could talk about, so much good stuff we could talk about, and that you have to get down in the
I
weeds
love
and
this.
address this kind of issue
I love
on our
it.
show. It's embarrassing, and I
No, I
apologize
love
for
it. I love it because I get to clean house with you. I get to clean house. I'm not taking out a politician today, but I'm taking out somebody who was whose mind was brought up in a very sad existence in a school system that deranged their brain, or I'm dealing with someone who knowingly and actively is participating in Antifa style attacks. So anytime I get to silence those people is when I get off the phone, I'm going to pull my pud and think about it. That's how much I love doing this, for lack of a better term.
I appreciate it, and I think our next show is going to be on the liberal smear tactic. I'm going to start working on it.
Beautiful.
And,
I'm going to start
I would-
studying too.
I would love to do a show on that with you.
I will send you a private link if you want, Red. You know that.
Yes, sir. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Yeah.
Thank
All
you.
right, a
thank
little
you
more
guys.
cleaning house done tonight. We got a lot done tonight.
We actually this was productive. Thank you, Joy, for keeping us focused, because I had so many other things going on. You know, people don't understand how much time that you can invest in this, and I invest a lot too, Red. And you've always been my hero. I don't even know how you did 70,000 people.
They were coming at me left and right, and they were asking me the same questions they asked Mike Penny. Should I go here on 4th of July? Should I do this? You know what? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. You know, and then I had guys like Robert Sanchez up my ass, making sure I kept it on point. Oddly enough, reminding me what Dr. John Coleman remind me. So I wonder very much often, I think, is Robert Sanchez like under kind of a white hat thingy? He's not, there's more to him than I know, because he was on point with so many things. But he did the hard love with me. What is that called? Tough love. He didn't do it pretty. He did it the same way I do it. I dish it out to Mike Penny the exact same way that Robert Sanchez dished it out to me. And I mean, I was going live talking. I'm sure you were around when I was talking about Sanchez without saying his name. I mean, he was under my skin, but that son of a bitch was right. And I had to follow through and go back and find all the evidence that I seen myself that I didn't show you guys. He makes me realize that every bit of the evidence that I use to say something or come to a conclusion has to be shown, because those people may not come to the same conclusion I did with the same evidence. So that one, it's just tough love. And I'm going to hand it out to Mike. And if Mike is a patriot, he's going to take it and he's going to swallow the medicine and realize, that things are not happening the way he thinks he is. And Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Bob Marley are probably not going to be on the same ticket in 2024.
Probably not.
Probably not. So I'm never going to walk away from Mike Penny. I'm always going to hope that Mike Penny wakes up and says, it's time to fight. Screw the intel, screw these little tiny details. And really what these people that come in here to attack do, besides just having no meat on the bone in their attack, is that they are eating our minutes about talking about the right thing. There was a huge victory here tonight for the Antifa style opponents of the Patriots. And that is, for X number of minutes, we talked about them instead of the fight. But next time it won't happen, because they'll be gone. They won't know they're gone, but they'll be blocked from the channel. Their comments, their thoughts, They're thumbs up or thumbs down. All don't matter. And if you get enough of those, I don't know how many it is, you're blocked from all channels. You can go subscribe to everything you want. No one's ever going to see your fucking comment on YouTube. So go start another account.
That's exactly right.
And you can pick them off one at a time. Welcome back. You guys go over to my channels. My channel's Eggface. Go over there. Go over to Allison Intel Land. Show up over there. I love it. It's just going to give me something to jack off to tonight when I'm done. I'd love to block you over there too. Come on down. Peace. Bring it on. I'm not scared of no Antifas.
Okay.
Especially on the internets.
Let's address the chat for a second. We don't talk about other channels over here. Red's mentioned a couple channels.
Mike Penny?
But that doesn't matter. I don't talk about other. Have you ever heard me bash another channel on here?
And you're not responsible for me. Just like Mike Penny is not responsible for fraud for Doug, you know, and I made that point to Mike when he left. What it comes out of my mouth, I'm responsible for. And if you want to come to my channel and yell at me about it over there, you're welcome to. I guess you can do it in the chat too, but I don't read the chat. So, you know, good luck unless somebody reads it to me, get it to me. I talk about other channels. I don't say anything bad about Mike Penny. I don't believe anything he says. I pray every day he changes his mind and wants to be a patriot. I will work with him side by side every day he wants to, as long as he shows me that he is truly a patriot and he's not. There's no reason for him to be into this. I mean, he's not making any money off of his little, pain drug, and Mike, what's his name? That's how he makes his living long before the Intel shit. Mike Jaco made his money off of. That's what he does. Don't try and make fun of him for making a living. You make a living too. It just happens that your job doesn't allow you to talk Intel all day. So you get it? It's like, don't try and take away from Michael Jaco what you do every day for 40 hours a week.
Hang on just a second here. Let's put this up on the screen. Those names never come out of my fucking mouth. Do
they come out of mine? What? No, I can't read them.
It says, yes, you do. You talk shit about Sage and Will every fucking night.
Sage ain't a proud of a channel. Sage ain't Intel. Sage ain't a good guy. Okay? Sage is not a good guy. Sage attacks the community. Sage doesn't make videos about about Joe Biden being bad or something bad happened on January 6th or November 4th. He doesn't talk about that shit. He's a distraction. All he does is the basic plays out of the Antifa handbook. So what if we talk about him? He's not here to help the country. There's nothing in his soul that is about the final result. So what if we talk? What if we talk about him? This is fucking America. We can talk about anybody we want. We could say we don't like anybody I want, and I could say it is my personal belief that he works from the Antifa handbook. That's my right as an American. I'm not breaking any laws. Okay, and I will say it forever. And if the 200 people want to show up and listen to him every day, God willing, go ahead. Enjoy. May his channel last for 25 years. But he came up with a story about pedophiles, and oddly enough, the only other people in the whole world that followed that story was the Young Turks. That's weird. He does a story about pedophile on Mike Penny, and the only people in the world to talk about it after Mike Penny was on MSNBC was the Young Turks. Well, good job, Shane. You are a great patriot. You just made the Patriots look like a bunch of assholes by giving the Young Turks a story about a pedophile that's on a Patriot channel. You did a great job, dude. You should be congratulated. Give him the goddamn Medal of Honor because he didn't finish his 4-year fucking commitment to his fucking country.
Amen. So anyway, all that being said, chat's agreeing. I don't talk about those people. We talk about situations. This is not about anything but building our communities back, period.
But I do talk about it. But you don't. So this is where, don't get confused with the guilty party. His guest is guilty. He's not. We're not the same person.
Here, let's take a poll. How many times have I ever mentioned very many people's channels? I do mention Liberty Warrior. Love the guy. He's my friend. We don't agree on a lot of things, and that's okay. How many times have I negatively put somebody else's channel on this channel ever? Because even David will tell you, I've told him time and time again, don't talk about it, don't talk about it, don't talk about it. Put me a 1 in there if I did, and 2 if I did not. Because I'm not about this. I'm about unity. This whole fucking thing started unity. Red, let's talk about the story. Another channel shouted out to another channel about doing a fundraiser. No. That somebody needed help. We won't even mention channels. I went over there to thank them and stayed at their channel because I was trying to bridge a bridge between all the conservative people in America that can't get over their bullshit.
Uh-huh.
And it's starting to work. I have put a year into this channel. Not this channel. I put a year into YouTube. I mean well here. I don't give a fuck about anything else but saving our gosh damn country.
Right. That's exactly where I'm at. I don't care what intel's coming out of any particular channel's mouth. It doesn't matter. I'm going to get it across to them that it's interesting to know, but are we shortening the time between today and the end result? Is that what you did today on your channel, or did you just confuse the issue more? Amen. From here forward, where can we go? And it doesn't matter if they want to talk about Hillary and Guantanamo Bay, if they want to talk about spaceships, it doesn't matter. Enjoy the spaceship. I listen to Bigfoot shows. My favorite show in the whole world is Sasquatch Chronicles. It's got, I'll talk Bigfoot with everybody all day long. But when it comes down to it, at the end of the show, did we move towards the goal? Did we get somewhere closer to the finish line? Did we wake up one person? It's all fun. There's two kinds of people coming at Joy. There are people who demand intel now. Like that's how it works. And then there are the black hats. So we have triggered people and black hats. I successfully, through filtering between 9 and 11 channels, was able to get rid of all of them and only keep the smartest of the bunch. And I am in a great position, and nobody will last 2 seconds in there in any of those channels because of how close I am with those people. Those people are my family, and I don't need the other 68,000. It doesn't make me more powerful. It's dead weight. So embrace. I want you to understand how good you're going to feel when you go through the list and you block these people permanently forever, and you will never see or hear from them again under that account. They can come back with another account. That'll only work for so long.
Boy,
but that's their energy.
Boy, Red, you messed up. You kept me in there, and I'm not the smartest one in the bunch.
Well, you kept finding your way. Both of you guys found your way through the 11 channel change, and you guys watched it get smaller and smaller, but it just got more concentrated. That's all that happened.
Like I said, you missed your boat there, Red. You could have got rid of me.
And then where would I be?
True. I'm that redheaded stepchild of yours.
Amen. We're all redheaded stepchilds nowadays, and I'm so glad that name was fitting from the silver community to the Intel community. And I think I am gonna name the next channel Redheaded Stepstacker and try and find the few that never made it that we want to keep through the whole thing. But I do appreciate your guys' time tonight. And Joy, it is a pleasure to hear your voice. You have one of the sexiest radio voices I've heard in a very long time, and I do enjoy your thoughts, hearing you speak. I could do that all night. I could listen to you speak all night.
Thank you.
I love your thoughts. I truly love the way you think.
Thank you.
I wish there was more girls like you in my zip code that think like you and have a nice voice.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And
Well,
Joy, I want to say that I love your voice, and I love your attitude. I love your information, and I love you as a person. And I'll tell you, I'm like Travis and Red. These so-called keyboard warriors that want to attack you are nothing but a bunch of cowards. If
All
they
it
were to
does
me,
is all it does is disrespect Travis when they do that.
if they were to meet Travis, me, or Red out in a open area and say something like that, I can guarantee you all three of us would knock the living snot out of them.
And I have a tendency to poop on my opponent after I win. Just saying. I'm not joking.
Taking a page out of Rhino's book there, are you, Red?
It's a show of dominance and an alpha move.
I thought maybe you were trying to be like Rhino, walk up and spin your tail and poop all over them.
Yeah, but there's got to be the fight. First, you got to use your nose, and then you can use your tail.
Yep.
When it's over. Well, it was a beautiful night.
yes, it was. Hey, thank you guys. It means a lot because if we don't form a community, we're going to lose this because there's too many people saying I ain't voting, I ain't voting. That's exactly what they want us to do.
There's really people who are still saying that?
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my God, that's a whole nother show. That's the worst idea in the world. Whoever is saying that is got to be a black hat trying to convince other people to say that because no one would. I mean, you'd have to be. I guess we are in such a tangled world that becoming a moron instantly is very easy, but I don't believe that it's that easy. We're not going to vote and protest. That's a good idea. That's the most ridiculous thing ever. Oh my God! Yeah, that's black hat operation for sure. Who said that? Was it General? Did they say General Flynn? Who?
It's in the Democratic playbook. Don't.
But
vote.
didn't somebody come out and say that the other day? Like, or didn't somebody accuse? Didn't Linwood accuse Flynn or somebody of saying something like that in that movement? Or was it the guy with the eye patch? Somebody said it, right? I heard somebody say.
I don't know who it was either.
That's another show.
I know I mentioned it last night about the voting and everything, term limits, the whole 9 yards. And Red, I think that would be a good show to get back on here with Travis. I think Shane would be a good one in there along with Essential and Joy.
Absolutely.
And
or
I think
D.
Yeah, get D involved in it.
From Mike's show.
Yeah. Or even my D. I guarantee you, she can get vocal when she needs to be.
Yeah, we should have a wife, what night only or something like that, where you got to sit where she's sitting and she gets the headphones.
Yep.
That'd be good.
And I'll tell you, there's a lot of these women that people can want to put down, and I will tell you straight up, behind every man is a hell of a lot better woman than that man is.
Yep, I'm looking for mine.
You'll find it, brother. You'll find it because you deserve
I'm 52. I'm not getting any younger.
Well,
or prettier.
Well, she didn't marry me for money. She didn't marry me for looks. She married me because she cared, and that's something you just don't find in this day and age.
Yep. That's rare.
Let him know that 5 minutes after seeing you, I was saying I was going to marry you.
Yeah, D after meeting me 5 minutes said she was going to marry me. Told it to her girlfriends.
That's cool. I said that to Elle McPherson, and I got what do they call that? Where you got to stay away.
A restraining order.
I got a restraining order when I said that. I'm just kidding. I made that up. I didn't ever get a restraining order.
Yeah, I've got a cute story about how her and I met. Maybe one of these nights I'll share it with everybody. I met her inside of an Army recruiting station when I was in there.
That's unusual.
Yeah, it is. It's a cute story. One of these nights, when we have a light night, I'll share that story.
I think 8 out of 10 people say they met their husband or wife in a bar.
Well,
So that's a big step up.
I met mine because I thought she was somebody else. And there's a long story behind that one.
You're dating 6 months and you're like, your name's not Tammy?
Well, I was building drag cars with the Army recruiting sergeant, and Jack and I were very good friends. And it ended up that every one of us that worked at that shop building drag cars and running them on the tracks and everything had a girlfriend or a wife named Dee. You'd yell, hey, Dee, get me a 9/16 combination wrench. You're liable to get beamed with 5 or 6 of them.
That's good.
All right, guys. We're echoing. Thank you.
Yes,
Will.
I'm out. Good night, everybody.
Good night, Joy.
I'm going to pray us out.
Thank you.
Dee needs prayers. Jenny C needs prayers. All you people that want to make fun of me for praying out, make fun of me. I don't care. In my heart, I believe what I believe. My relationship with God is between me and Him. Until you've walked a days in my shoes, we'll talk about it then. If you need me to be there when you start walking through my shoes, then I'll have another conversation with you. But anyway, let's do this. Dear Lord, please help Miss D. We know her struggles. You know her struggles. Please help her get through this, and let's get through all this crap. Jenny C is having some terrible times still. God lift her up and let everything be okay. We're in a struggling time, Lord. We are. It's awful. I don't feel it. I see it. Let's help our communities. Please, Lord, we need to help our communities. Where's our grandmothers? Let our grandmothers come back in. Maybe I'm the grandmother. Let's put our communities and our families back together. And bless Red, Will, and everybody in this chat, because we know we're all having trouble. In Jesus' name I pray.
Amen.
Thank you. Thank you guys for coming. Always a pleasure. We always have a great time.
Well, I know I
I
enjoy
agree.
it every time I come, and I'm sure that Red will concur with that one.
Yep. And if you got somebody in
Red.
here who doesn't like you praying, you got Satan in here. So let's get him off first. Let's hide him. Let's block him from the channel first. Somebody's got a problem by praying.
If somebody finds Satan, let me know and give me the coordinates. I do have a 50 caliber sniper rifle I'd love to try out.
He lives 2 doors down from Donald Trump in New York. His name's George Soros.
That's right. I believe it. Right. Amen.
Good night. Yeah, amen. Good night, gentlemen.
Hey, wait a second. I want to see red hearts in the chat.
Yeah, if there's any redheaded stepstacker family still around, let's see him. I'm sorry I didn't call for it last time or today.
I did today.
Oh, good.
I put
Were
5
they here?
myself.
Oh, good.
5 times. Come on.
5 by 5. Come on, let's see the hearts now.
There we go. The love is coming, brother. Hell
We
yeah.
got Squirrely down. All right, she's down in Sweet Bottom, Mississippi. We got, there they go. All right, we got Mako 311, and he is in Frog Lips, Kentucky.
That's right.
All right. Thank you. Love, love, love. I love my family. I love you people so much. See, this is my channel, man. You can have this. You can have all this love. All you got to do is take out those few, just those couple of few, and they disappear. And they don't suck all the love out of the room.
That's right.
You're going to have the best channel once you get rid of about 9 crappy subscribers.
I think you're right, but I think that as long as we can build communities together, we're gonna grow stronger people.
I agree. I can't
Yeah.
wait till more channels jump in, and if they see some positive growth here, that other channels jump in and they want to be a part of it somehow, any way that they see fit, and any way you guys see fit. Don't forget, Monday morning you got to come up with something: a phone call, a FCC report, a bumper sticker. Go to eBay and look for a Brandon bumper sticker if you can't think of anything else. And that's all I got. Thank you very much, y'all.
Wait a minute before you go.
Yep.
If you guys want to buy a T-shirt from Red Step Stacker, here's the link. I pasted it in there.
Yeah.
In there. Look.
Or just go look around.
I don't even have a T-shirt. This is your store. We support you, brother.
Amen. And if you guys don't want a T-shirt, just look around. Looking around gets it raised up in the Google Analytics, and it might give you an idea to go to Teespring and make your own T-shirt. And for you to come up with your own idea, it's going to cost you $17, and most of mine are $19, unless they're double-sided or long sleeve or something like that. And it says front back print right in the title. Make sure you understand which one you're buying before you buy it. I bought the wrong Disco Sucks shirt. I bought it in extra small, and I'm a 3XLT, which is all the way the other side of the spectrum. So I do wear it for underpants, so I don't throw the $17 away. So I got Disco Sucks underpants with a big hole in the crotch. But I'm not throwing $17 out the window now, but I do. So that's really my favorite one, Disco Sucks. It's not even political, the one that's up there now, but go enjoy and just look around, get some ideas, take my ideas and turn them into a sticker. You guys could get stickers printed at Sticker Mule. You get them sent to your house for under $10. Maybe you're just getting 25 or 50, but go take my idea and bring it somewhere else.
Right.
Peace and love, guys. Live your life before your life lives you.
Love you, brother. Hey, thank you guys for coming in. And let's build our communities together again. Let's be our grandmas. Let's be our grandmothers. If my grandmother called and told me to go somewhere, we didn't ask when, where, why. We showed the fuck up.
Yep. World needs more grandmas. That's for sure.
Exactly right. Thanks, Red.
Amen.
Appreciate y'all. You guys got my number. Reach out to me anytime. I'll do everything I can. I will.
This was a lot of fun. I'm really glad I did it. Thank you very much, Travis.
Oh, you're welcome.
And thank you, Will. Thank you, Will, for all of it, because without Will, nothing.
Will's intentions are pure.
And joy is a gift that you did not deserve.
You're exactly right. But
yeah,
now this is her show.
What's that?
Now staff her show.
She needs her own show, I think, with Essential and Mike's Liberty Warriors producer. I think that would be a good episode. And I think Will should take that idea and start a channel for prepping and the things we were talking about earlier, because YouTube algorithms want you to be on one subject, and for us to start doing that, it won't get out. The word won't get out because they won't sell us as a prepper channel. But you could do that, and I'll help you, and I'll go on with you and talk about stuff all the time. But you doing a video on a channel with no subscribers is going to get a lot farther than my channel, which is completely suppressed. I mean, you guys you don't even get the notifications for live streams. My subscribers don't even get them. So
I don't even get them, but I'm looking for you all day long, brother.
And thank you. And when I realized I'm preaching to the choir and they won't let me leave the choir, that's when I started thinking, okay, how do we get out? We got to get out by getting the word out. So these choir members have got to be the microphone that I can't be anymore. And they are. And I'm lucky. I'm real lucky to be a part of this with you guys. Thank you. We're going to win this.
Red, I'd like to say it's an honor working with you and the other channels that I do work with. Travis, I'm here for you too. Anytime you need me, just yell, because I have a lot of ideas for different things that could come up in conversations and stuff. And maybe some of them will fit for you, some may fit for Red, but they may not fit for everybody. But there's somebody out there that could use these ideas to wake people up and to get this country back to where it belongs for we the people. And where we go one, we go all.
We go all.
We're true, if we're all patriots.
That's right.
Amen.
Yeah. Thank you guys for coming. It's been an awesome show. This is community building. We have to start with each other. Personalize it.
And we got to get the wolves out of the lamb pack.
That's right. Love your neighbor. Love your neighbor. Help your neighbor.
Amen.
We need to get the foxes out of the hen house, as my pappy
That's
would
what
have
I meant.
said.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. They make a hat out of them. Good night, y'all.
There you go. There's another T-shirt for you. Let's get the foxes out of the hen house.
Get the fox out of the hen house. That's right.
The artwork for that could be a lot of fun. That's where I need I gotta get somebody who could draw real good. That is a good one. I'm gonna go work on essentials when I wake up. See if I can't remember what it was, but somebody wrote something genius on a window and the dirt in the window, and she took a picture of it and she goes, "Make me a T-shirt like this." I'm like, and I'm trying to think of it and make it work. It's make it flow better. But y'all have a good night. Thank you.
I still like that one that I sent to you about we need a hand up, not a hand out.
Yeah. I have that written down in front of me. It's just I can't get it to flow like what we said at that point. It was like Republicans will give you a hand up. No, Democrats give you a hand out. Republicans will give you a hand up. And I could easily put that on a T-shirt, but that's going to piss off blue zombies. So I've got to reword that so they don't take it personally offensive. If it's going to be a baseball bat in the face T-shirt, it's got to be about someone else, not them. Like Joe Biden squeezing a little girl's boob. I wouldn't make a T-shirt, but that's an example of a smash in the face. So if I could find a way to word that so they're not personally offended, to get them to plant the seed, then that's the idea. So that's on my paper, and I'm trying to find the words to get it to not be offensive to the reader. You know what I mean? Because there's too much of a good blue pill idea in there. I've called the Republican Party and I said, why don't you mentor poor children without dads? Because I know growing up in a wealthy family that what happens is that rich people give birth to children that will grow up and be wealthy. And poor people successful people give birth and bring up children that will be successful. Poor people get pregnant and bring up people who are going to grow up and be poor unless they get through that little window. So, you know what I mean? So how can I bring that idea together with your idea? I'm going on for no reason, but that's where I'm stuck on your T-shirt idea. Anyways, thank you all. And thank you for everything, everybody.
Hey,
we're going to win.
No, thank you. Thank you for coming on.
I see the light.
You've been an idol of mine for years, and thank you, Will, for bringing us together. I think we have the right idea. Now we just need to exercise it. Am I
yes. Wrong? Yeah, and find out how and work through those ways to find the machine to make that machine run flawlessly. You know, we got this jalopy and we got to turn it into a race car somehow. You know what I mean? We got the ideas, we put it together. Now we got to tune it up.
That's right.
Wait till you
Amen.
see my old plumbing van, Red, in person. You'll see why I named her Old Hoopty. She may not be the prettiest thing in the world, but she gets the job done.
It's all
That's what
about,
I'm inheriting.
it's all about functionality.
Amen. Thank you, guys. We
Yes,
did
sir.
good tonight.
I'll reach out to you, Red. I appreciate you. Thank you, guys. I love everybody. Thank you, chat. Thank you, the mods, for taking care of us. Red, if you'll tell me which mod we need to put in here to help us, absolutely. No questions asked.
Thank you.
So, yeah. Oh, yeah. You have
Right
good
on.
people. You have good people. So
I do. I can't read any of those names right now, but I'll go through.
it's all
They're
good.
all really, they're powerful people. I got really lucky. Having that channel crash on me was the best thing ever happened. It is. It is. And nobody's asking me if they should go to their mom's house for Christmas. Nobody's ever asked me that since. It's like, thanks. Should I change my underwear? No, don't change your underwear till Trump is back in office. Everybody, trust me, this is gonna work. Don't change your underpants until Trump is back in office. Mike Penny said that, and the world would start to stink really fast. But they would do it. They're loyal. Got to give them that. Good night, y'all.
Good night, y'all. Love you. Red.
Love you, man.
Appreciate
Good night,
that.
Red.
We kicked ass. I loved it.
All right. Good night, guys.
Good night,
Love
Travis. Good night, Red. Talk to y'all later.
Before I forget, I'll say this again. Love your neighbor, know your neighbor, help your neighbor. That's how we fix America. If you don't agree with me, that's on me. I think that's how we do it. Get our grandmas back. Good night, y'all.
Amen there, Travis. Good night,
Thank you.
everybody.
Good night, Will. Train wreck, train wreck, train wreck.
Tonight, I'm aiming my lasers. You wanna try? First of all, lasers.